Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are here for round 5 of the Bunnings NPC 2021 competition. This game we are going to be watching is going to be between Northland and Waikato. And at the moment, Waikato, they are on a little bit of a winning streak, sitting top of the premiership at this stage. I will show the table. Here they are. That is the wrong one. That was going to be the championship. There we go, Waikato. They are currently sitting 3 wins, 1 loss. And the only side that they have lost to, it was a little bit earlier on in the competition. It was up against Canterbury, but since then, they have been able to beat the defending champions Tasman last week, which was a very impressive performance, which does give them 16 points. I can't speak today. Too excited for this game in the rugby that we have got coming up very soon. They are going to be taking on Northland, like I mentioned, who are currently sitting, unfortunately, only on that 1 point. They will be trying their best to be able to move their way up here, but this is going to be a very tough game for the Northland side to be able to get themselves a win. But they are at home, and if anyone can do it at home, we've seen Northland, they fought hard in their game up against Tasman, also finished quite well up against Manawatu last week. So we'll have to wait and see whether or not they can get themselves a massive upset victory here. We have also got Waikato in the chat from Shane. We've also got Johnny Blaze, Crazy NZ. Brandon is in there as well. Christopher and Smithy Toilet. And also Crazy NZ is in there with the emojis. Welcome back to the live stream, mate. Do let me know who you think will be scoring the first try of this match. I didn't even mention showing those tables as well. They're 18 points at the moment Taranaki are sitting on. They have gone 4 from 4, and they have versed the likes of Hawke's Bay. Also, another side who are up near the top. I believe they actually played Wellington, if I'm not wrong, there very recently. Have been on a little bit of a winning streak, that is for sure. But nonetheless, we are looking at the sides for this match. Should be a very exciting contest, like I mentioned a little bit earlier on. Both sides packed with talented players. As we can see for Northland, they are the home side here. They have got Sam Knock at number 9. He has been doing very well recently for them. Also, you've got that locking combo of Josh Goodhue and Sam Kidd, who can be dangerous. And then Orehana, I believe he was playing at number 10 last week, but now has switched to 15 with Hawkins moving into 10. But a man who we need to mention as well, Rennie Ranger. This is going to be his 100th match for Northland, which is absolutely insane, that amount of players, or the amount of caps, I should say. So very big congratulations to him, and he will be hoping to have the 100th as a big win here for the Northland side. Then looking through at Waikato's starting lineup, they have gone with a very similar lineup to what they used last week, other than I believe Summer Penny Finau is dropping out of that starting lineup, with instead Hamilton Burr starting at number 6. And then also, I believe they have got a couple changes off their bench as well, including a debut for Waikato in this one. So they will be hoping to have a big impact. And as we can see, there are some good names on both of these benches. Xavier Rowe is one that stands out for Waikato, but also it will be Tamani who will be on debut for this one. Also, D'Angelo Leula had a very decent game last week, and Will Grant in the number 21 jersey to replace Sam Knock later on in this game. We will have to wait and see what kind of impact that he can have off the bench as well. But nonetheless, we'll look in the chat as well. Rennie Ranger as well in the chat says Johnny Blaze, and also two good teams. Should be a mean game as well. And who you got, says Ed. I am going Waikato, and I feel like this is going to be a harsh one in terms of my prediction. But the way that Waikato have been going, other than getting that loss up against Canterbury by 1 point, they've been pretty strong. They were able to fight back in that game up against Wellington in round 1. So I am going to say Waikato by 24, but I wouldn't be surprised if Northland were able to have a very close game in that regard. We have what's got there is Tom Robertson still injured. I believe so. He isn't back yet for them. Instead, they have got Josh Goodhue, and also they have got Sam Kidd there, as well as their locking combo in that regard. And then even if he went into the loose forwards, McNamara, also Pryor, and Faul Kafa are the three who they have decided to go with there. So I'm not too sure how far away he is going to be from return, but hopefully it isn't too far away. And we do get to see him very soon. Waikato all day as well, says Ed Vogel. And also we have got there, can you read my message on Xbox after the live stream, 23 points to 16 as well, says Brandon for his prediction. So hopefully we will have a high-scoring game in that regard. But for some reason, my Wi-Fi has decided it really doesn't like me lately. I'm not sure whether or not it is the way that I'm live streaming, because I haven't really changed anything. But it's just been over the last couple of weeks. It has absolutely not liked to agree with me, unfortunately. So hopefully it does run relatively smoothly throughout this one, and hopefully we will be able to fix it before we get to the weekend, because for some reason, anytime we have done it over the last kind of little while, has decided that it doesn't like us too much. But Rennie Ranger is the man who will be leading out his side for this match as well. Big love you, beautiful legends as well. North Island action, here we go. Says Sebastian and Neighbours Wi-Fi as well. Says Crazy and said, yeah, I'm not sure what's happened to it over the last little while, because I always make sure I reset the modem quite a few times before I start live streaming, and that is purely because it just doesn't really run that smoothly if I don't do that. But now that I have done it, it seems to still not really like me So we'll have to try and sort that out. But nonetheless, it is going to be played in Whangarei for this one. Mike Fraser will be in charge of the action. And yeah, it will be interesting to see who will be able to get the win. Like I mentioned, Waikato going into this match heavily the favourites. But we will have to wait and see whether or not they will play into the kind of end result of this game, because we know that Northland can fight hard. We saw them fight hard in the game up against Tasman that they did end up losing in the end. But they have got a little bit of a trend of scoring points in the second half in Northland. But now this one is going to be kicked off. I will quickly get the scoreboard up to see if that does help us in terms of the connection issues that we have been having. But it's going to be taken nicely by Northland just outside of their own 22 here for the round 5 first opening game of the Bunnings NPC. And we have had plenty of matches so far over the last few weeks. We will have the inclusion of Auckland, Counties, Manukau, and also North Harbour all coming back very soon as well. But nonetheless, I will try sharing this one and seeing whether or not having another tab open and sharing that does help us out in terms of that connection. So there we go. We will go like this and we will go like this. And hopefully that will help us out. But now it's going to be a knock-on advantage here. Waikato going short side. It will be Jacobson now trying to run it up 40 metres out. Now Waikato from the Northland line. Now we saw Northland actually score the first try up against Tasman in the match a couple of weeks ago. A little chip in behind though. Fletcher Smith not quite able to link up, and it will be going back for the penalty now. And it will be going the way of Waikato as well. The video resolution is a bit fine, or a bit low, sorry, but the audio is fine as well, says Sebastian. And also we have got there, cheers, Sebastian, brother, much love. And also we have got there, hell yeah, Johnny. He's a beast as well. And picking a Waikato win, although Northland showed some fight back versus my Manawatu Turbos last week, says JSP as well. And you guys, Rugby 7 on tonight, and tomorrow is what you want to see. Go to my YouTube chants as well, says Brandon. I assume that it's YouTube channel, and we have also got there an injury-free Tom Robertson would be a 13 cap All Black by now. See Johnny Blaze in, yeah, your Wi-Fi not so good. Your vid come freeze as well, says Ed Vogel. And Anton Leonard Brown select for number 13. How about that? He did indeed, and I did actually manage to somehow predict it with the fact that they would decide to go with Rico Ioane out on that left wing side. But it's going to be a good game tomorrow. It's only around 28 hours away, I believe it is, or maybe, yeah, somewhere around there, 28 hours till we get to see that one. But now it will be thrown in here for Sam Cooper, and Waikato only going to be sitting 15 metres out from the line now. Straight down the middle, taken nicely there. And it's taken by Hamilton Burr, the man who is replacing Finn now for this game as well, trying to get that rolling ball going, something that worked pretty well up against Tasman last week. Slowly marching, but they are sitting top of the table at the moment for the Premiership, with Auckland actually as the lowest, but they have not played anywhere near as many games as everyone else. Liam Messam now got the ball off the back, trying to slowly keep on creeping forward. It's available now for Cortez Ratema. So that back across field, Fletcher Smith now gives it off to Balin Sullivan. They are only 10 metres out here for Waikato once again. Fletcher Smith now goes back. It's going to be Dawai. Bit of a step there, breaking the tackle as well. He is going to be tackled 10 metres out. Obstruction is the call though. And now it will be the the knock-on advantage, and it does go their way as well. Who's going to score the first try? Sees Ed Vogel. For myself, I am going to say that it is actually, I'm going to say it's going to be Liam Cove's Fambling, because he did actually end up scoring a decent try in one of the other ones. Last week, I believe it was actually up against Tasman. He scored that try on top of Mitch Hunt in the corner. So I'm going to say he's going to score the first one. Or actually, I want to change that. I'm going to say it's Lansdowne instead. Matthew Lansdowne is who's going to score the first try if it is a Waikato one. And then if it is for Northland, I'm going to say Jordan Olsen, number 2 as well. Northland are the northern most union in New Zealand, aren't they, as well? Says Sebastian. Oh, that's a good question. I feel like, I don't know the North Island well enough, unfortunately, to be able to work that one out. But I'm sure someone in the chat will be able to help you out in that regard. And Mark Morris has said, when will we get a NPC side that represents the hordes of Kiwis living in Australia as well, says Mark Morris, because we have got a few Australians who are in this competition, like Sakopi Kep, who actually plays for Counties Manukau, although they have not been playing too much recently, although they do get the chance of being able to train a little bit more kind of in the near future. But overall, that is a good question. We've got a few Australians, Angus Scott Young as well for Bay of Plenty, but other than that, we haven't really got too many. It's more Super Rugby Pacific that will be coming up. Big little shunt off. That's kind of two opposite things, a big little, but it was a big push there from, in the end, it was Yoni Makale Tori as well. That's going to be on the 22 penalty here for Northland. I believe it was for the player just leaving the feet, and we have got Waikato will win the comp in final versus Tasman 25-23 as well, says Liam Games. And also, yeah, Paul Fella, crazy. He's a monster of a player's style of aggressiveness, throwing his whole body into hits, contact, whatever. just leads or just need whatever needs be leads to injury, sadly, as well. And how many games are you doing this weekend, says Shane? Unfortunately for the Bunnings NPC, I believe most of the games kind of overlap with the ones in the middle of the night. But I believe, if I'm not wrong, I will show you guys the games that we have got this weekend for the Bunnings NPC. We will be able to squeeze in a few more next week due to the international rugby slowing down. But there is 2 games on tomorrow. It is going to be Bay of Plenty taking on Wellington and also Manawatu taking on Otago. And then the one game on this Sunday is Tasman versus Southland, but it is going to be a 2:05 p.m. kickoff. So we will have to wait and see whether or not it all runs on how much sleep I can get in between all of the middle of the night live streams, because the game between the All Blacks and it will be the Springboks is actually going to be finishing at about 1, I believe, if I'm not wrong. But now it's going to be on the side of George Dyer, 40 metres out here for Waikato once again. Cortez Rateme dropped the ball there, Johnson, but it's gone backwards. Once again available here for Waikato. Jacobson using the back line nicely. Going to be now Matty Lansdowne. Got the man on the outside who will be chasing, but it has rolled into touch just outside of the 22. And now it is going to be the line-out throw. Thoughts on Angus Scott Young for Bay of Plenty as well, says Ed. I haven't really seen him play too much, but I know that he did mention beforehand, before the competition started, the reason he has decided to come to New Zealand is because he wants to play up against kind of the best provincial sides in the world as well, to try and keep himself, I guess you could say, keep that momentum rolling heading into Super Rugby, going to the back there. And it hasn't quite worked out there for Northland. It's a knock-on advantage, though, against Waikato. And now it will be available, and it will be Sam not firing this one back into the pocket, looking like Rennie Ranger getting his first carry. Lobby pass, it's dropped by Cobb's family. And now they will be going back for the original knock-on advantage, where we have got there in the chat as well. My logic is based on the fact that they're north of Auckland, which is pretty much pretty bloody northern as well, says Sebastian. And also we have got their Freo Sydney brethren as well, is gone as another reason to ring your cowbell for the lads in Sydney as well, says Johnny Blaze. And I do actually see that they have said that game that is taking place tomorrow for the Rugby Championship, of both games, they are only going to be allowed 75% as their attendance, which is slightly unfortunate in that regard. But it's probably lucky that they are still able to have it, because I know that Argentina, they are going to be missing 6 of their players, unfortunately, for that match as well. Angus Scott Young, father, is a former Wallaby. Sam Scott Young as well, says Ed Vogel. But yeah, overall, I feel like he is very good in the loose forward trio, Angus Scott Young. I just haven't really had the opportunity, because normally Bay of Plenty, unfortunately for me, have been playing a little bit earlier. The best opportunity I got to see them play was that game against Hawke's Bay. And if I'm not wrong, I don't know whether or not he actually played in that game. That's a massive scrum there for Waikato, and they win the penalty, taken quickly as well. The quick tap taken, no one realised Liam Messam did though, and he is driving at the line, only a metre short now for them once again. And now he has really got to go forward close to the line. Lachlan McWannell, it's going to be ripped back. Cortez Ratema passing it out the back line. It looks like it's going to be a wide ball, or is it? Dawai doesn't pass. He does now. It's gone through the hands. Oh no. It's gone through the hands of Matty Lansdowne into the hands of Coves Fabling, and he has scored the first try of the match. I switched it at the last minute in terms of who I thought was going to be scoring, and unfortunately, I was going to be right the first time. But nonetheless, it is going to be the try for Waikato there. It is Liam Coves Fabling who was able to score it. I still say his name wrong. I believe it's Combs Fabling, if I'm not wrong there, but it was just a nice backline movement. He decided to take it quickly there, Liam Messam. No one was expecting it to be the case. And then from there, McWannell getting close to the line, only a couple metres out, did lead to the opportunity for Fletcher Smith to fire it back to Dawai. It looked like he wasn't going to be passing, and originally backed himself, and then found the offload through the hands of Lansdowne, and it was scored out on the wing by, it was Coombs Fabling, maybe. I feel like I still say it wrong either way that I say it, but nonetheless, we will add that one to the try scorer sheet in only the 8th minute. So they have started very nicely, and like they are saying, he is now leading try scorer alongside Lester Faiananoku. We have also got there. Northland is a huge area as well, says JSP, and also video is perfect now, says Sebastian. Yes, so for some reason, it was just those first few minutes that it didn't really like me, and now it has decided to get a lot smoother, which is great news, because it is always kind of interesting to see the quality not as high as we possibly want it to be. But Fletcher Smith now from the touchline, he's nailed that one, and now the score is going to be 7-0 for Waikato in the early stages of this one. So the question is coming back in 12 minutes as well, says Brandon, and try, says Sebastian there as well. So I did say that it was going to be Matthew Lansdowne after changing it off Combs Fabling, but I still have a chance. If it is the first try scored by Northland and it's Jordan Olsen, surely that one's going to be slightly a little bit more, I guess slightly more credit for that one, since I did change off him. But Nonetheless, 10 minutes into this game at the moment, and we have already had the one try of this game, and I don't think it will be the last of the first half. Waikato really starting to pour on the tries. Oh, it's a charge down, and now Northland, they've got this ball just a few meters out almost, but Fletcher Smith gets the little deflection go in his favour, and now it will be just outside of the 22, and it's going to be a rolling maul opportunity perhaps for Northland. This game, like I mentioned, being played at a frantic pace. I see that 90% of you want to see this game go to Golden Point. We did see it last round between Canterbury and Southland. That game in the M1 by Canterbury and Golden Point. And the week before, we had that game that did go to Golden Point for the Ramfurly Shield between Hawke's Bay and Bay of Plenty. And the best thing about that shield now is we are going to get to see Tasman have a chance breaking off the middle now. It's going to be Sam Keard only 10 metres out here for Northland. Not really contested there by Waikato in the line out, dropping the head. And they're going to be about 10 metres out now, and they have got the opportunity of being able to fire back straight away in this one. Sam Knock now going short side once again. And we have also got there, where is your rugby jersey, Hamish, in the chat as well. It is sitting on my chair at the moment in my room next to the suit for all of me rugby attire. But now it's going to be Sam Knock going back once again. Oh, it's an interception pass thrown, but Fletcher Smith putting it down. And now it is still going to be on the side of Kara Pryor, and they are going to be going back now for the scrum as well. We have got there, I see the colours of Waikato are the same as Germany's. Is there a historical connection between them? Just trying to educate myself as well, says Sebastian. It's a good question. Not that I know of in that regard, but I'm not sure whether or not maybe Johnny Blaze, because of the fact that he is in the Waikato region, maybe he knows a little bit more about it in that regard. And my mum and dad are in the Northland Taniwha land, roughly 45 minutes from the very top. Beautiful place, good sun, good beaches, good green, good, great fishing if you're ballsy enough as well, says Johnny Blaze there. But now it's going to be the line out, or sorry, the scrum feed. 52% of the possession at the moment going the way of Waikato, but it's going to be a good opportunity for them to be able to build a few phases here in Northland and try and get themselves back on the board. Like I mentioned, they scored the first try up against Tasman in their last match up against Manawatu. I believe they scored 3 tries in that second half, including one where they took the quick tap in about the 78th minute. They were able to score it. And they are showing Rennie Ranger there. That one looks like it's a little bit messy at scrum time, and because of it now, there will be another scrum reset, as it did just spin out a little bit. We have, it's got there in the chat, Waikato colours are from the 2 main clubs as well, says JSP. And also we have got there maybe possibly, I don't even know, Sebastian, to be honest, coincidence perhaps as well, says Johnny Blaze. And also we have got the question for you, Kiwi lads. Could you see a message on the Xbox after live stream? No at a real questions as well, says Brandon. I will have a look at it, although I haven't actually been able to get my Xbox app up on my phone recently, which may be why I haven't been seeing as many of them coming through. Hamilton Old Boys, red and black, and I can't remember who the yellow and black club is, as well, says JSP. And also we have got the, I like Angus Scott Young on field and off field. He's a good player for the Reds when he is studying for his Doctor of Medicine degree. Evidence of brains and brawns exist as well, says Ed Vogel. So that is very impressive indeed. Sam Knock now passing the ball back. It's going to be Josh Goodhue with a bit of a step there. I believe his brother is going to be taking on someone a little bit later on tonight or tomorrow, I believe it is, on Rugby Challenge. He's going to be challenging a pro gamer for the All Blacks YouTube channel, but now still 10 metres out at the moment. Higher, just not quite able to break the line, but now, tell you what, it's getting very close here for Northland once again. Passing it back, it's going to be Sam Knock running onto a Rennie Ranger for his 100. Finds the offload as well. McNamara, quick answer, it's taken nicely. Oh, did he get it down there? Looks relatively happy with it, but I believe maybe he was clearly out. Yes, he was. So now they are going to be going back. Almost a try there for Johnny Makalai-Tori. And that would have been them getting straight back into the match there. There we have, it's got there. He should definitely be a rip doctor as well, says Sebastian. And also the Northland 13 has a bigger head than some halfbacks as well, or has a head bigger, sorry. And I assume that is Rennie Ranger we are talking about. He's almost rocking a mullet at the moment. Rennie Ranger as well for his 100th game. Would absolutely love to be able to score himself a try, but then Makalai-Tori almost able to get it right in the corner. They have got the penalty though, 10 metres out, and now Jordan Olsen. What are they going to decide to do here? I believe it is going to be a line-out throw, and that man could score off a rolling maul if they get the opportunity here for Northland as well. And we have what's got there, and their Hamilton Old Boys in the chat, and also the yellow and black. The yellow and black, I feel like the only yellow and black I can think of is either Wellington or Taranaki, which I know is not the one that we have got there, but now it's going to be Jordan Olsen with this ball in the rolling maul. They're going to be sitting only about 5 metres out, going sideways at the moment. Well defended by Waikato, but now it's starting to creep forward for Northland. It's gone down. Someone's lost their boot as well. But Sam Knock, the ball is available at the back for him. They've got the penalty advantage now. It's going to be once again going back into the hands of Haya. And at the number 12, Rennie Ranger joining the breakdown. Sam Knock now fires it back to McNamara. Getting closer and closer, only the 5 meters out for Northland, and they have been dominating in terms of the territory for the last kind of 5 minutes or so. It's going to be steam rolling its way forward. Olsen there, firing it back now. It's looking nice for Northland. Big hit there. He's broken. That man there was a huge hit from the number 4 of Waikato. Now it's going to be Rennie Ranger. Goes back once again. It's a drawing pass. Not quite working out. They've still got the advantage, though, for Northland once again. Sam Knock passes it back. Once again, it's going to be Lua Lee. And the number 1 jersey getting his first carry of the match. Sam Knock passes it back across to Sam Kidd. There's a lot of Sams on the side of Northland. I've just realised whereabouts is Sam McNamara. I just saw a boot go flying in the background. It's a wide cutout pass. Jordan Olsen down the wing, offloads on the inside to Josh Goodhue. Somehow he's been able to keep this ball in play, and Dawai with a huge hit on the number 10. Dan Hawkins going short side once again in Northland. Phase after phase, they're up to double figures. Going back once again for the number 8 of Northland. Someone's boot is still missing at this stage, but it's going to be Lee. Fires it back. A little bit of an awkward pass, but it's available now. Number 14 driving through, not able to find the offload, though. Still 5 meters out here for Northland. And they are up to 13 phases now. It's Lee. Passes it back once again. It's a wide cut-out pass, finding the hands of the number 11. He's driving then. This time he scored it there. And it is going to be Johnny Makaloi Tori, who was able to score. We will add that one to the try scorer sheet as well. Tell you what, both of these sides looking like they're going to be scoring a huge amount of tries in this game. And we will add that one as well. It is Johnny Makalai. Well, I better spell the name right, or else I will get myself in a little bit of trouble. But Makalai Tori, he's got plenty of power out on that wing. Was almost able to score it a little bit earlier on. And that time he well and truly made sure that he was getting driven over the line by his own momentum. Fabling almost able to stop him, but still just driving straight through it, and he is able to score the try. There we go. We'll add that one to the try scorers list. So both fellas on this right wing side at the moment, or this right-hand side of the field, I should say, have been able to score themselves a try early on. Northland as well, says Sebastian. And also we have got there in the chat, every weeknight I go to bed by 9 p.m. to get ready to the rugby in school as well, says Brandon. Also we have got there, you should definitely be a rib doctor. And also my club training jersey has the same design as this Northland shirt last season as well, says Mark Morris. And also that's impressive commitment, brother. My body just won't go into rest mode any time earlier than 11 p.m. as well. So 20-0 scoreboard tonight. Also no 20-0 scoreboard tonight as well, says JSP. Yeah, they had a rough start up against Manawatu, but something that they did well in that game was they were able to fight back to not really losing that game by a huge amount. Able to score 3 tries in that second half compared to this one where they have actually scored early on. And also their game up against Tasman, they were able to do nicely. That one's going straight down the middle. Looks like there might be a little bit of rain there at the moment, but that now means that it is going to be 7-0. All we're seeing at the moment is rain and tries between these two North Island sides. There we have got there. I go to sleep 9:30ish most. So come 101st game starting at 11 p.m. I'm going to be tired as well, says Johnny Blaze. Yeah, that one starting a little bit later due to daylight saving is slightly annoying because of the fact that it does mean that the other games for us kind of start a little bit later as well. I believe the game between the Sharks and I think they're playing Edinburgh, if I'm not wrong. Oh, that's a nice step there from Raihana straight away just outside of the 22. But those games are also delayed 1 more hour. So it's going to be tough doing those in the middle of the night as well, depending on what time I do wake up tomorrow. We have it's got there. What do you think about selecting Sean McMahon and Greg Holmes for the bench as well? I like the fact that they have brought them both back in. I believe, if I'm not wrong, Greg Holmes, oldest player to play for the Wallabies since World War II or somewhere around there. And also Sean McMahon, over 1,000 days since that man has had an opportunity for the Wallabies. So it is great to see him back as well. And I saw a montage of what that man could do. And he's just a physical player to have coming off the bench late in that game. And it does mean that he will get a good opportunity to try and maybe, I don't know, they might start him in one of those games in the Northern Hemisphere, depending on how they go, because they have got England. They've got also Wales, and I think they also play Scotland, if I'm not wrong. They're the Wallabies. But now firing it back once again, it is going to be now Gideon Rappling. He did very well in the last match for Waikato up against Tasman's side. They're now going back. Fletcher Smith going short side. Now it's going to be Balin Sullivan. Almost taken a little bit high there by Lua Lee, and it's going to be a penalty, though, instead to Northland there. And I believe that they have penalised. No, it is actually going the way of Rennie Ranger there, sorry. And he has done very nicely indeed. Not releasing ball is the call. Tell you what, imagine your 100th game is the one that Northland are going to be able to get the win over Waikato, because at the moment we see on the table, Northland, they are only sitting on the 1 point. And the big shame for Northland at this stage is the fact they have actually been playing some decent rugby, but it's that massive points differential, as you can see, compared to some of those other sides. They have been playing some hard opposition, And it does mean that that points differential has just been well and truly going away from them. They haven't really been able to stop anyone from scoring a huge amount of points. They've just got the one bonus point for being 7 or less behind in one of the games. But yeah, Rennie Ranger just getting straight in there, and it was able to win the penalty for Northland in his Centurion game as well, which is a very impressive territory at the moment. 55% in the favour of the Waikato, and it is currently 7-all, just the 2 tries in this game so far in the first 20 minutes. I'm not complaining one bit, because we are going to get to see maybe another 2 or 3 before the end of this first half. Goodhue takes it in the line out on the halfway line now. Going to be passing it back to one of the try scorers there. There's going to be Makalai Tori, I believe, passing it back now once again, and it's going to be Hawkins looking for a bit of space in behind, going straight into the hands of Coops Fambling, though, and he is going to be kicking it back with the return kick going just inside of the 22, taken nicely there by it was Hawkins. Passes it back across to Reihana, and he is looking for the touchline, not going to find it though, so now taken by Smith, about 30 metres out from their own line here. Waikato looking for the counter-attack here. It's going to be Matty Lansdowne in the number 15 jersey, trying to break the tackle, getting driven backwards though with a big shot from Sam Kidd. Now it's going to be Fletcher Smith, goes across to Mick Wannell. Tell you what, the names didn't want to roll off the tongue there, but they're on the halfway at the moment here for Waikato. Passing it back once again, linking up. Oh, it's going to be dropped though by Matty Lansdowne. Almost kicked out of the hands of Rennie Ranger by his own teammate. It's a knock-on though, and we are going back for the scrum to Northland once again. Thoughts on Harry Wilson? Will be excluded after the Rugby Championship as well. Is that due to injury, or is that actually due to just being left out of the side? Because I feel bad for him, because he did have such a good season with the Reds, because of the fact he's got a very dangerous running game, Harry Wilson. But just with the amount of depth that they've decided to go with Falatini starting, and also Pete Samu, Lockie Swinton, and everyone like that, he doesn't really get that many opportunities, unfortunately. Harry Wilson, every reason. Richie Moonga back, George Bridges off, finally some justice as well, says Sebastian. Yeah, this stage, a few more Crusaders players are getting added in that back line. But then, yeah, losing Will Jordan as well, which was a big one that people were a little bit confused about in that regard. But they have decided to change both wings, Rico Ioane and Severis, out on either side. And then you've also still got Geordie Barrett under the high ball, I believe. His stats were very much in his favour for that high ball. And then, yeah, Mwanga and McKenzie both coming off the bench alongside TJ Perenara as well. Will be an interesting one. Balin Sullivan must be viewing his younger brother is making big strides to further honours in New Zealand rugby as well, says Johnny Blaze. Although I do see that he recently signed with the Hurricanes, Balin Sullivan. So luckily for him, he has got himself that Super Rugby contract, because, of course, Zane Sullivan sitting there at the Blues for this one as well. And we have got there in the chat streaming for it, says Zane, in there. And I assume that is where this one is kind of available to watch. And it is on Sky Go, or also Sky if you are just watching on live TV on Sky Sport 1, or you have got Stan Sport if you are in Australia as well. But now it's going to be quick backline here. Movement once again from Raihana out to the hands of the left winger. He has already had the ball many times, Johnny Makalai Tori. Now driving forward once again. Now it's going to be Josh Goodhue getting the carry, going back across field, and it's going to be the big forwards. It's going to be Corey Tawata Koli with the carry there, 30 metres out here for Northland once again. And if they can score now, it will give them a very nice position. And now it's going to be Rennie Ranger drawing past it. It's the try. And it's going to be Kara Pryor, who was able to score it there. And Northland take the lead in this game. We are going to add that one as well. They are saying that that try assist surely is going to Rennie Ranger there with a draw and pass, breaking the line as well. And Pryor able to take the rewards there and score himself the try in this game. And they have taken the lead now. Northland was in the end. Sam Knock just waited to pass it back a little bit further. Then from there, it was just the sell of the dummy that sent him through the gap. And then the defence lured in. Matty Lansdowne wasn't able to do too much there other than just watch Rennie Ranger go straight past and pass it on the outside to Pryor. And this was a very nice try indeed for the Northland side there as well. We have got try Northland as well. Kara Pryor, Dreadlock power as well, says it was Johnny Blaze, and also lazy defence there, says Mark Morris. Yeah, unfortunately just outnumbered there. It was just Matty Lansdowne who didn't really put in a decent shot on Rennie Ranger at all, really. He just ended up in that 2-on-1, and it does mean that Northland will take the lead in this match now. 42 metres out, Dan Hawkins with this kick currently sitting 1-from-1. Good on you, Northland. I'd like to be surprised. I like to be surprised, says JSB. And also we have got there Zane Sullivan has the talents. Build height, boot to match, big future ahead of that fella as well, says Johnny Blaze there. And also we have got there Rip GB. Don't ever want to see him in an AB's jersey. Sorry, good to feather out the Cantab presence in the ABs as well, says Johnny Blaze. But that one has gone over. So now it does mean that it will be the score of 14 for Northland and 7 for the Waikato The big thing for Northland here, though, is they cannot take their foot off the gas. We have seen it in this competition a few times. They're either able to score early tries or late tries. They haven't been able to put it completely together, so this is the perfect chance for them to be able to do so. And if they get the win over Waikato, that really makes the table in the Premiership a lot closer, because Waikato at the moment, if they win this game as well, although that is a big if at this stage, the way that Northland are going, but as we can see, if they were to win this one, they would be well and truly ahead, and Hawke's Bay and Tasman would just be playing catch-up for the rest of that time. Also, Canterbury, they've done very nicely. They were actually the only team who were able to beat Waikato of their loss, but everyone else is all sitting on the same, but they have been able to get themselves those few bonus points, including that one for losing by 7 or less up against Canterbury in that match as well. And also Mabau went out because of a stupid tornado, so I can't watch the game as well, says Luke. So hopefully it hasn't damaged anything in that regard, other than a few power poles, mate. Hopefully you're all right. And Sweetleaf has said hello as well. Welcome into the live stream. I do appreciate you all being here. So far, we have had 3 tries in this match so far. It has been the first try of the match was scored by Liam Coombs-Fabling, and then from there, 2 tries for Northland, the first of which scored by Makalai Tori, and then the second scored by the man in the number 7 jersey, Kara Pryor as well. And I'm from Australia, says Sweetleaf. So I believe if you do want a way of watching these games, if you haven't got access to them, Stan Sport, I believe, is the only coverage, unfortunately, for the for Australia. And there we go. We have Scott Bay of Plenty for the drop as well. It's going to be interesting to see whether or not that will be the case. But at this stage, unless something drastic happens in those playoff games, it seems relatively likely. I will just put up the championship here. Taranaki at the moment, the only team in the whole Bunnings NPC competition to have not lost a single game yet. They've won 4 from 4. They haven't had very easy opposition either. They've versed, I believe it was Hawke's Bay, Wellington, maybe Bay of Plenty, unless they play them this. No, actually, it is Bay of Plenty that they have played as well. So they have been able to beat at least 3 sides from the Premiership kind of thing. And then their other game, I believe, was up against someone else who is here on this board, but I don't want to say who it was just in case I do get it wrong. But now a little kick in behind here from Reihana, just going to be sitting up nicely there for Dawai though. And now he's found a bit of the space. Mosisi Dawai got the man with him, offloads a Fletcher Smith flat pass there right in front of the referee. And it is going to be going back now for the penalty as well. Partly New Zealander as well, says Sweetleaf. And also we have got their question for you, Kiwi lads, about rugby. Fire away, mate. And also we have got there also on my mum's account as well there, says Sweetleaf Jade. And also Taranaki to the Premiership and Bay of Plenty down into the Championship. My prediction, says Sebastian. Also we have got there, it would be hilarious if Auckland dropped to the Championship, says JSP. I'm sure they wouldn't be too happy about it in that regard, because of the fact they just haven't really been able to play too many games. But of the games that they have played, they had that very close game with Canterbury, but they were able to win it. And then I believe they actually lost to Tasman in a close game as well. Yes, so call me Trav as well. I will try my best to remember that, Trav. And also we have got there in the chat as well, who do you think will win the NRL, Penrith versus South? I support the Panthers. They definitely deserve it, but South had to beat the Panthers early in the finals week, says Ed Vogel. I think I predicted the Panthers as well, but that's only because me and George played the match on Rugby Challenge 4, and we got absolutely dominated in that game as well. So it's a tricky one to try and predict, just because I haven't really seen too many other games. But I know that they met each other in those. Oh, that's a big run from Rennie Ranger there, tackled low by Gideon Rappling, and also Fletcher Smith there. Sam Knock has got the ball available at halfback, gives it across to Sam Caird once again. A lot of Sams getting a lot of carries in this match early on for Northland. It's kicking behind by Sam Knock, and it's gone into touch. Now, was it inside of the half? We will have to wait and see. I think it was just inside of the half of Waikato, which would mean that this one wouldn't be a 50-22 in their regard, and instead Waikato here. No, it was a 50-22. So now it will be Northland's attacking line-out throw. So that is a very good position as well. It's got the, I'm going for Rabbitohs because my grandpa has cancer as well, says the Sweetleaf. So yeah, hopefully in that regard, the Rabbitohs can get you a win. I'm a Bunnies fan as well, says JSP. And also we have got there, I'm going back to Sydney tomorrow. So it's all sweet as well, says Luke. And also we have got there, go the red, yellow, and black as well, says Christopher. And the Manawatu scrum half was pretty good. He may be an All Black one day, says that person. Of course, having that injection of Aaron Smith. Oh, that looked like almost a fella getting knocked unconscious, but I think he is all right. I think it was just a huge bit of contact there, but I believe it was Hohaya who has stayed down. There's actually 2 players down at the moment for Northland, so they are playing almost with 13 at the moment, because Hohaya is very slow to get back up. They actually took Scott Gregory out of that number 12 jersey. Nice spin there from McNamara, and now they are getting extremely close to the line. 10 metres out once again. It's a juggle from Olsen. It's gone backwards though, so it's still available for Hawkham. It's straight on the ball. Aiden Johnson trying to take it, but Goodhue takes it straight back. Looked like a little knock on at first. Look, okay, now he's thrown it forward, so that is going to be the knock on, and Lansdowne is going to be kicking that one downfield. And I'm pretty sure both sides will be happy to have that ball into touch, because Northland, I believe they've got a player who probably needs an HIA at this stage. And good evening, Hamish and Kiwi Ladders as well. Welcome in, mate. And also we have got the I Wish Paramate there, my team as well. Says Sweetleaf says Trev. And also we have got the Go the Taniwha, says McKenna, and also Whatmake, a great second row player. Oh, second row player, that's a tough one, because of course height's a good one to have if you are in the second row. But overall, I would say it's just like having a good line-out steal on you can get you a long way in rugby union, because we've seen it. I mean, it's a little bit of a different example, but the All Blacks versus Springboks, we saw that the Springboks, if you can kind of keep the opposition hooker just really having to make sure they throw it straight, and then you can end up in that situation of ending up just being, it's very tough to be able to get that mojo going when you're constantly having it broken up kind of thing as well. And also we have got the, so it says, it was Trevor. Also we have got there, evening brother, hope you're well, says Sebastian there. And we have also got the Go to Waikato as well, says Christopher there. And at this stage, they are 7 points behind, but we are still early on in the game. And we have seen Waikato's second half. They are really one of those sides that are starting to prove themselves in those last 20 minutes or so. We saw it up against Tasman. They were able to run away with it. Also in that game, I mean, talking about that game up against Wellington, where they were about 30 points down, to then go on and win that game after halftime, just to keep on being able to push forward and keep on scoring points. We know that they're capable of it, but 30 minutes into this one at the moment, and at this stage, Northland have still got that little bit of a lead, but we will have to wait and see whether or not that will be the case going into halftime. On the halfway line at the moment, a lot of halves happening at this stage, but now it's going to be thrown in for Waikato. Lachlan McMahon gives it now to the scrum half, if you will. Now fly half. There's actually quite a lot of halves when you think about it in this rugby world, but now it's going to be Lansdowne kicking that one downfield, going for the little chip in behind. Found a bit of space as well. Coombs Fabling chasing that one up, but it's taken very nicely there by Northland to be able to hang on to it. Rennie Ranger now with the fend as well, trying to break the tackle of Mitch Jacobson, I should say. His brother Luke going to be playing in the All Blacks game up against the Springboks tomorrow. Now Sam Kidd driving forward once again. And now Sam Knock looking like he is going to be setting up for either the kick or maybe decides to fire it back into the pocket, but it looks like he will be doing it himself here. Sam Knock puts it high. Going to be chased up by the number 11 Lansdowne. Oh, it's gone straight through his hands. Second time he's dropped that ball. And it is another knock on against him, unfortunately, which is not why he will be wanting there. And we have got there. Hi, brother. Hope you're well as well, says David. And also we have got there Parramatta not grand final material, still top 5 in the NRL, in my opinion, as well, says Sebastian. And also we have got there, who are you going to start for the second row? Mara, Toje, Etzebeth, Alwyn Jones, or Retallick? Oh, that's tough. It depends. Who are we playing in that regard? We have got Retallick there from Luke, because, I mean, it's a tough one. They've all got their own kind of perks, I guess you could say. Because, of course, Retallick, as a Kiwi, I feel like that's the name that probably comes to mind quicker. But then Mara Toje, he's very good at getting under opposition skin. So maybe that would help you out, definitely in a rolling maul situation. Eben Etzebeth very good with the steal. Alwyn Jones, maybe you give him the captaincy if you're going along that track. So it's very tough. But I would say purely because of the fact that I absolutely loved that try a couple of weeks ago where Brodie Retallick ran alongside the forwards and scored it between the sticks. I'll go Retallick because that one's fresh in my mind. Then we have also got, can you play Rugby League Live 4 after All Rugby Challenge? Says Trav. At this stage, we have actually got a Rugby Challenge 4 video that will be coming out tomorrow morning. And maybe if we can get it edited in time, we will have one for the Rugby League Grand Final, or the NRL Grand Final, I should say, because we actually played that game of the quarterfinal type stage, but then unfortunately did just not quite get that one up in time for that one, but we have still got it in the recording. Mara Doja as well, says it, and also come on Waikato, says Christopher, and Luke DeJager and Scott Barrett. Yeah, if you're talking about line-out steals, Luke DeJager is a very good player in that regard. Retallick has that ruthlessness you'll need in the ruck as well, says JSP. And yeah, I guess it's one of those ones we're going to get to see a few of these players that we are mentioning, Etzebeth, Retallick, and also DeJager all playing in that game tomorrow, as well as, I mean, Argentina, they've got some decent players, but I don't know whether or not they've got anyone in that locking jersey that people kind of mention in that regard. Probably same with the Wallabies. I know Isaac Rodder is not too bad. Darcy Swain, young, talented player coming up through the ranks. It looks like a little injury here for, I believe it is actually, I want to say that it is Lua Lee, which would mean that he is going off the field. I'm actually hoping it's Lua Lee. It is Lua Lee. And the only reason I say that is because I cannot say the number 18's name to save myself for Northland. So Justin Davies, if he makes his way out onto the field, that will be a lot easier for me to be able to say. But it looks like Lua Lee's night is going to be over here for Northland, which is a big shame in that regard. What happened to the inflatable guy? He is still here. He is just leaning to the side just a little bit because of the fact that, unfortunately for him, he's a little bit flat. I have to get the pump out and blow him up before the live stream tomorrow as well and go to ABs as well, says Christopher. And also, Retallic has pace and is good as support player, I believe that is, and he is also good on the ruck and the scrum as well, says Luke, and also the gear and emojis from Sebastian as well. Now it's going to be the backline movement here for Waikato, taken nicely by, it was Mitch Jacobson, still available here for Cortez Ratema, passes the back inside ball, little juggle there, Gideon Rappling, no, it was Balin Sullivan, did get nailed in the tackle there, currently 30 metres out, once again, it is going to be going back now, still available for Waikato. If they can score themselves one try before we get to halftime, they are still well and truly in this match. Johnson now passes back to Fletcher Smith. Once again, Balin Sullivan trying to get straight on the ball. Is that number 12 that I thought they would actually take off the field? And now Rennie Ranger just able to get straight in there and rip that back for Northland. He is looking very good in the breakdown, and that's actually something that I will mention in that game up against Tasman. Northland, I should say, were just ruthless in that breakdown in the later stages of that game, and if they continue that, Lansdowne holding it with one hand, that is very ballsy. And bear with the fact that he has dropped it 3 times already in this match for that one. Is a good kick downfield, and now it is going to be the line out, and he's not too happy with the touch judge at the moment. He chicks in here as well. Says that, and also we have got there, you would be good at these people that sell cattle as well, says Trav, and also we have got there what's going on with Waikato, says Swansea Hands. They started the match very well. They were able to score the first try, but then from there, Northland have just been showing that little bit more of an edge in terms of the breakdown. They've been able to be physical. Rennie Ranger has been doing a huge part for them there, and Rennie Ranger once again had the ball. Was it? No, it was someone else, and he has actually dropped that ball. It was Pryor, the man who was able to score a little bit earlier on. Masisi Dawai now got the ball for Waikato. 35 minutes into this game at the moment, and they are going to be 45 metres out from Northland's line. Fletcher Smith passes it back across to Sullivan now. Coombs Fabling running onto it nicely, tries to break through the tackle of the big number 11, but in the end, Mikelai Tori able to drag him down around the side. Now, once again, good offload available for Hamilton Burr. Going to be taken nicely by McWannell. And it's available. It's a penalty, though, to Josh Goodhue in the breakdown, and he has been able to win it. What's up, Northland fam, as well? And we have what's got there. Hey, Hamish, how's things going on? Hope you're doing well. What's your predictions for the games tomorrow as well, says Aiden? That's a good question. I believe at this stage, if I'm not wrong, well, I will be wrong, but I am sticking with my same prediction as I had for the All Blacks Springboks game last week. I'm saying 29-24 for them in that regard for the All Blacks, because I feel like that sounds like a scoreline that could happen, but I don't want to change it just in case I get it right this week rather than last week. I'm a Canterbury fan as well, says it Trav, and also we have got there, I hope you're well, Aiden, and there as well. And also we have got there, and also a para fan, says Sweetleaf. But as you can see in the background there, that is actually the Waikato kit. Now, I haven't had it in the lounge, I don't believe, other than one of the very first games of the season. And the reason for that is I felt like I was going to jinx them by bringing it in. So who knows, maybe this could be the downfall of Waikato because of the fact that that kit is in the background. Was very lucky for the Chiefs throughout Super Rugby Aotearoa when I did wear the Chiefs kit for those ones. And if you want to see a girl join us gaming live streams, and also her name is George as well, says, look, I'm sure he will absolutely love hearing that. But 40 metres out at the moment, it is going to be Northland with the ball. And once again, Sam Knock passes it back. McNamara driving hard at the line, going to be dragged down there by James Tucker, now going short side once again here for Northland, breaking the line very easily at the moment, making meters for fun as well when they get the opportunity. Sam Knock fires it back now, 35 meters out, 3 minutes left in this first half as well. Sam Knock passes it back once again, and it's going to be Hawkins. Nice ball into the hands of the replacement there, Davies, who has just come out on the field for the injury of, it was Lua Lee, available almost for Waikato in the breakdown, not quite able to get it though. And it is still on the side of Northland. Good phase play here. They're up to 7. Oh, now 8 phases going to be, once again, Hawkins goes back inside ball. He was nailed in the tackle, but it's a massive gap opening up. Got a bit of toe as well, offloads, and Sam Knox scores up between the posts. And that is going to be the 3rd try of the match there for Northland. Okay, there's an interesting acceleration going on, a little bit of breakdancing there. I wonder how many weeks they have been practicing that one, but Sam Knock able to score the try. They may have a look to see whether or not this is obstruction, but if it was not, Northland may have been able to score themselves a try. Beautiful inside ball. Oh, I think it is going to be play on there, but then it was a beautiful link-up play from Leilua, sorry, and then from there, Sam Knox scoring the try. Probably the best celebration for a try we have seen so far with a breakdancing one. Nonetheless, beautiful run there for Northland, and they have been able to score once again in this match, and they will be straight out in front. So they could be going into halftime here up by 14 points, and we have got their Hamish Stream of the Bay versus Wellington game. I assume that it's the game at, I think it's 2:05 tomorrow, and I'm still on the fence. It all depends on how many games I decide that I am going to do for the match, or for the games for the URC, and also for the Gallagher Premiership, since those games are taking place a little bit later for New Zealand time. But hopefully I will be able to get that game in. Try and try as well, says Aiden. It is a try in that regard, and it has gone straight down the middle. I think they were just checking to see whether or not the obstruction was enough to overrule it, but it was just a great run in the end through the middle there from Leilua, and then from there Sam Knock scores the try between the posts, and then straight away he looked around for his teammates. He always ended up face planted to the ground there. Severis is playing as well. Zach says he is indeed. He is going to be playing in the match tomorrow in the number 14 jersey as well, getting the start from there. And we have got the how's it brother? Is Corey Taylor related to Cody Taylor, or does Corey still play for Northland as well? I believe he is not in the starting lineup or reserves for Northland in this game, so I'm not too sure whether or not he is still there or not. Hopefully someone from Northland in the chat, if we have got anyone, will be able to help us out, I should say. 30 seconds left in this first half now, and currently a good lead for Northland here. Oh, someone's fallen over. It's another knock on from Matty Lansdowne. That is the fourth time he's dropped that ball in this half so far, and now breaking the line. This would be insult to injury if Northland now were able to get that counter-attack going and be able to score one more kick in behind there from Reihana. Looking for the space. Combs Fabling taking that one there, but it is going to be going back now for the penalty. They have got 11 gold on the chaser, I believe it's the goal there. So that will be up against Mosisi Dawai, who has been penalised there. And also Waikato is playing horribly as well, says Aiden. And also we have got there in the chat, let's say, have a rugby fantasy. Who do you choose for a back row? Artie Savia, Tom Curry, Michael Hooper, or Peter Steph Toy as well? So we're going all... that's tough, because I feel like I'm probably having Savia and Hooper in there. But then it's between Curry and Detoy in that number 6 jersey, I guess I would go with in that regard. Do I get the other one off the bench? Do let me know. Because if I do, then that will make it a little bit easier. But if you can, or if you have to get rid of one of them, it's very tough to do. Bottom championship side under investigation for mauling. Premiership top side try as well. Says a passion there. And hi, mate, I'm from Whangarei. Northland is based. Let's go the Taniwha as well, says Caleb. And yeah, at the moment they are playing very well. Jordan Olsen going to have this line out throw. And from here, they were only a few meters out from their own line, and they would have more than likely been kicking this ball into touch. But now 25 out from Waikato's line. Northland can go for another attack here and see whether or not they can score it. It's over the top now, and it's going to be once again the hands of Leilua. Still available here. James Tucker trying to get in that breakdown. Not got able to. Sam Knock now offloads it, I should say, to Kidd. And it's another advantage, and this will be an easy 3 points if they decide to take it on. But now Sam Knock sells the dummy, offloads it as well. Offload on the inside. Goodhue gives it to Olsen, juggles it. And it would have been a try for Northland once again, but instead now they will have the opportunity to add 3 points, and I think more than likely they will decide surely bench one lad as well, says Ed Vogel. So I think I would, only because I haven't really seen Peter Steph-Toy play too much recently, I'm going to have him come off the bench as more of an impact player, I guess. Northland dropped the ball, says actually they did indeed. And also Hamish tomorrow, Severis hat-trick in New Zealand to beat the Springboks 100-0, says Aiden. Tell you what, that would be a very impressive one. That is for sure, if that was the scoreline. But it's going to be, I have a feeling it could be a close game once again, which is why I went with that 29-25. I didn't actually say my prediction for the Australia versus Argentina. But I think Australia are going to win that one by around 15 again. What's the penalty? It was for, in the end, straight out in front. I believe it was for an offside, or maybe it was actually in the breakdown. If I'm not wrong, James Tucker might have gotten himself penalised there. But straight out in front, down the middle, and now at halftime, there is going to be a point lead of, tell you what, they're doing well. I almost had to add up the points in my head there, but 17 points difference between these two sides. But one team that you can't count out is, of course, Waikato, because I mentioned it before the match as well. That game up against Wellington. Wellington had about a 30-point lead, and then from there, Waikato were able to win that game. So Northland, we see them start match as well. We see them end match as well, but normally it's not the same match. So we'll have to wait and see whether or not it will be the case. But last round was the round of upsets, you would say. A lot of the teams that weren't supposed to be winning games won games. Is this round going to continue from where that one left off? Well, wasn't expecting this lead as well, says Mokina. And yeah, it is certainly a very impressive one for them at the moment here, Northland, at their home ground as well. They are looking to get their first win of the competition. We're up to round 5. I believe they have played 3 games so far, Northland. Or actually, they may have, no, they've played 4. My apologies there. So they really do need a lead or a win soon just to boost themselves up, because at the end of the day, you only need to be the top 4. From there, you can get promoted from that top 4. But at the moment, they need those points. And if they can get a win here with a bonus point as well, because all you need is 4 tries to be able to get that bonus point. They've already got 3, so they need 1 more. They would actually move up onto 6 points and be in a decent position. Of course, Otago still need to play Manawatu, I believe is their game, and also North Harbour. They do not have any games yet, but they will have some coming up soon as well. Half of the team aren't playing as they went swimming at Byron Bay and got told they can't play at as Byron Bay is a COVID hotspot. Hamish as well says Adam. They did indeed, which is why I originally thought this game was going to be a little bit closer, because I thought Argentina at this stage, they've got nothing to lose. But at this stage also now they have lost 6 of their players. So it makes it very tough for them in that regard. I was hoping it was going to be a relatively close game, but I don't see it happening with those players missing for Argentina, unfortunately. But then sometimes we do see when players are out, sometimes some teams play their best rugby, so we'll have to wait and see. And prediction on tomorrow's game, I said 29-24 is my prediction for the match between the All Blacks and the Springboks. And then also, I haven't really got a scoreline other than 15 points in the favour of the Wallabies as well. And we have got there, Northland will be third in the champions, or will be third in the championship with a bonus point, says JSP. They will indeed if the Springboks win. Some of their fans on Facebook will be unbearable as well, says JSP. Believe it or not, I've actually pretty much avoided all social media pretty much throughout this whole rugby championship. I've seen that a lot of people just end up like, no matter win or lose or anything like that, if your team has a great performance, there are still the people who will still criticize them. So I've just kind of been avoiding it and just been sticking to my normal kind of routine of getting the lineups and going from there kind of thing, doing my own little bit of research. McMahon is good. Is back how good as well, says Mark Morris. Yep, him. And also, I mean, Greg Holmes in that number 18 jersey. He's going to be 38 years old having a go. And I believe, like they mentioned, he's the oldest player since World War II that has played for the Wallabies, which is going to be a pretty awesome little experience for them. What's your favorite non-sport game? And you RP in it. What's your favorite non-sport game? And you role play in it, I assume that is. I'd say probably either GTA 5 or Far Cry 5. It's probably right up there for me too. In that regard, too many haters online. Hamish as well says David Tanefaz his and tonight as well says Johnny Blaze. And also, we have got there, what's the next video going to be? As well says Zach Slays. I believe it is going to be one coming out tomorrow morning. And it will be a Rugby Challenge 4 video as well, I believe, if I'm not wrong. I'm just trying to work out the schedule, but I believe it is going to be that one. And then we have got a couple live streams coming later on in the day as well. Come on, Waikato as well. Or Conan Waikato, says Johnny Blaze. And also GTA 5, yeah, man, as well, says JSP. And for anyone who is keen on seeing us play a little bit of GTA, we actually have the Kiwi Lads gaming channel, which we do kind of weekly live streams on, sometimes even twice a week, depending on how we go. But we are going to be playing Far Cry 6 when that game comes out on that channel as well. But they are just showing the tries, and Northland, other than that first try of the match that went the way of Waikato, it has been all Northland for the rest of this game so far. But we have still got 40 minutes to go, and we will have to wait and see whether or not that will be the case. But that link in the chat is for the Kiwi Lad gaming channel, I guess I should say as well. But looking through this one, 62% of the possession going the way of Northland, the home side, also having more than double, almost triple the carry meters than Waikato in this one. Defenders beaten 10-4 as well. Clean breaks 2-1 in regards of Northland, and also a few offloads for both of these sides. But overall, the missed tackle stat is costing them big time in this one. Waikato, 86 tackles made, 14 missed tackles to the 20 tackles made by Northland. 7 missed tackles, though, in that regard. And we have got the amount of social media stuff about the Wallabies versus Boomers, or basically anything not AB related, that gets comments by Kiwis about the ABs anyway is weird as well, says Mark Morrison. Who do you think is going to win? Says it is Trav. That's a good question, because I did mention it. If it was any other team losing by 17 points, I would say that Northland have a very good shot. And this is nothing against Northland. This is just from earlier on in the Bunnings NPC that I remember thinking, geez, Wellington, they're going well at halftime. But unfortunately, then from there, Waikato were just able to keep on fighting. I'm going to get that match up so that I know exactly what that score was at halftime. But they just fought back and they just kept going, Waikato, when they were from behind. And that is something that we've seen throughout this kind of competition. They have been doing very nicely. They've been consistent in that regard of being able to win their games, other than that one up against Canterbury. But other than that, they have been right up there in that regard. And I am just going to find this one. It was actually 37 points to Wellington, 43 for Waikato. And looking at the halftime score, once I do find it here. When you hear the halftime score, this is the one that makes me concerned for Northland in this one at the moment, because of the fact that it is 34 points for Wellington to only the 8 points in that, or for Waikato at halftime. So they scored 35 unanswered points almost, or 32 unanswered points in that second half, other than the three-pointer that Wellington were able to get. So they could do it again. We will have to wait and see whether or not it will be the case, though. But anyone who is new, be sure to hit that subscribe button, because we are going to be covering some more of the Bunnings NPC over the next few weeks. Also, the United Rugby Championship, Gallagher Premiership, Top 14, Rugby Championship, and all the other internationals that we have got coming up as well on Waikato Hard all day, every day as well, says Christopher. And also we have got the, are you going to stream all the World Cup games when it comes? I am indeed. Also, not just Rugby World Cup, I believe we are going to be covering the Cricket World Cup on this channel as well. Some of you guys will know right back when this channel started, we were a little bit of rugby, a little bit of cricket. So when the Cricket World Cup is coming up, we are going to be doing those games, even though they will be kind of at random hours, 11 p.m. and also 3 a.m. are those start times, but we are going to be doing them alongside the rugby that we have got the international fixtures, because there are plenty of them coming up in the next few weeks after we get, it's kind of about a 2-week break, which is going to be pretty nice. Going to be a little bit of that regrouping process and just a little bit of rest, so that when we get back into it, it will be flat out. But I will be loving every single second of it. We have also got there, I think that Waikato are going to come back 34 to 27 as well for that prediction there from it was Trav, and also 37-25. It's a prediction from Christopher. And in that regard, I assume that it's going the way of that would be going the way of Northland, maybe, if I'm not wrong, with them already being on 24. And what do you think about the World Cup? As well as Zach Slays, I'm wondering whether or not we're talking about the World Cup in regards to the Rugby World Cup or the Cricket World Cup, because the Rugby World Cup, they were talking about having it every 2 years very recently, but I believe they are sticking to 4 just for now, and it is only 2 years away, which is absolutely awesome. I love your gaming channel, Chill Vibes, and I like George swearing as well, says Johnny Blaze. Yeah, so anyone who doesn't know about that gaming channel, I will put it as a link in the chat once again for you guys to be able to go over, hit that subscribe button, because we do weekly live streams on Thursdays, and also as soon as Far Cry 6 comes out, we are going to be doing a few live streams on there as well. Another Chiefs player moves to the Crusaders next year, Kenny Naholo. I did see that, and then of course the rumor mill was starting that maybe Naholo could head there as well, but I believe that isn't going to be the case in that regard. But yeah, at this stage, it is going to be pretty awesome to see him. At the moment, I believe he's the leading meters carried man in the competition at this stage, Kenny Naholo. So he's doing very nicely for himself, and he has earned himself that contract as well. Mulu as well, says Obi Snake. Hey guys in the chat as well, welcome in, mate. And also, I don't know much about the sport. Are Waikato good enough to come back, says Aldon Malik. They are, because of the fact they have done it in a game a little bit earlier on in the season. They were down by 32 points at halftime, I believe. Or sorry, no, it was a little bit less than that, but they were sitting, I believe it was 34-8 down at halftime in another game, and they came back to win that one. So I never quite count them out, to be honest. But at this stage, the way that it's been happening, I think sooner rather than later, they've almost got to take off Lanston. And normally he's not too bad, but his hands have been letting him down. And I feel like that's position that you can't be giving up as well. Check out the Kiwi Lads Gaming channel. It's bloody lovely as well, says Sebastian. Also, didn't Waikato beat Tasman as well, says Hex Lakani. Hopefully I pronounced that correctly. They did indeed. The only loss that Waikato have had so far in this season was to Canterbury, and that was just with that missed kick in the final stages of that game as well. In the end, 20 points to the 19 as well. Heaps of streams to keep you busy, Hamish, brother, on the way to 10K Yeehaw as well, says that Johnny plays there. And also Waikato, the Mighties. Mighties. Hopefully I've said that. Oh, Mightier, sorry. Lance in New Zealand as well, says that Johnny plays. And also we are going to do, what are you going to do? While it's halftime, it's actually the end of halftime. So I guess talk, which I guess is what we just did. But now we are at the stage of the second half, getting us back underway. We have seen 3 tries so far for Northland. If they get one more, they will be able to get them the bonus point, which will be very useful. But pretty much normally halftime, we look through a few of those stats, like I did mention a little bit earlier on. And also throughout the second half, we will be showing all of the subs that are being made. But Lansdowne's still out there. They have got the option of Tapaya Cook Savage, who I think actually finished the last match pretty well. But Lua Lee, the only man off the field for Northland there. Are they going to win Waikato all day as well, says Christopher? And also same with Manawatu. Manawatu could have beaten Canterbury. And so I guess you could say with Southland as well, everyone has had very close games with Canterbury, but in the end, they've just been able to sneak that one in that regard. And also we have got the hello and welcome as well, says David. And also we have got the NRL Grand Finals coming up on Saturday. On Sunday. So excited as well. And yeah, it should be a very good game. The Panthers taking on the Rabbitohs. Liam Messam getting this ball just outside of the 22. And we did mention a little bit earlier on, the 100th match for Rennie Ranger for Northland. So if he could somehow help his side get the win, which he already, in a way, has with that assist a little bit earlier on. Also, a turnover going to be taken nicely there by Revis Raihana, trying to break the line, but he is going to be dragged down there by George Dyer with a good tackle. Sam Knock looking short side instead, pointing back across field, and it is going to be on the halfway line for Northland once again. All drop ball there on the ground. No one saw it. I believe it must have gone backwards. Raves Raihana now gives it on the outside. Rennie Ranger trying to link up. He was on the overlap, but instead it's going to be Johnny Makalai. Tori just driving his way forward. Once again, passing it back. Goodju offloads it now to their number 10, who was replacing Raves Raihana because of the fact that he moved to 15 for this game. Someone else missing from the Northland backline is actually Scott Gregory, now leaving his feet there, so not able to contest there. It's going to be, once again, Rennie Ranger just shunting off Cortez Ratima. And it's available. It's going to be kicked downfield by Coombs Fabling. And now back to the halfway for I can't say a word. Halfway line is what we were trying to get out. That situation, but Sam Knock now going to be passing it back once again, going short side. It's in their hands. It was Pryor on the outside now. Rennie Ranger is available on the wing. Running back nicely. He's going to be offloaded to Rayana. Ball over the top to Sam Knock now with the step as well. And they are only going to be 15 minutes out. Northland, all the possession in the second half so far. Rush defense there. Almost a no-arms tackle from Gideon Rappling, I think is what they are trying to say perhaps. But now it's going to be going back into the hands of Josh Goodhue, phase after phase. 10 more. Here, I will read the chat in a very short moment. But I do appreciate every single one of you for tuning in. Now it's going to be Rayana once again on the outside. Ohio tackle very nicely and low now. Balin Sullivan ripping that ball away for Waikato, and it's available once again for the Mooloos. Passing back, Fletcher Smith gives it off now. Combs Fabling. Liam Messam looking like they're going to use their back line, try and run it out from inside of their own 22. Oh, Sisi Dawai with a beautiful step there. Offloads it back. Liam Messam, no look pass. And it's going to be Matthew Lansdowne. And it could be the opportunity for the try. The overlap on the inside. Mitch Jacobson going to score the try there. And what a filled try it was for Waikato. Is that the start of the comeback? And it was a brilliant one indeed. Going to add that one to the list. It was, rather than kicking it back into the hands of Northland, they had the ball plenty in that first half and also now at the start of the second. And you can see now there's a few deep breaths taking place for Northland now, but Mitch Jacobson able to score it. Maybe his brother can get one in the match tomorrow for the All Blacks, but it's a very good way to start the second half here for Waikato. And it was in the end, Mosisi Dawa just breaking the tackle of, I believe it was their number 10 Hawkins, and then from there Liam Messam drawing pass out to Matthew Lansdowne. Did very well there. Decided to go to the man on the inside, Jacobson, rather than going with the pass next to him. There's the try to Mitch Jacobson. And we will add that one to the try scorer sheet. The comeback has already started here. Now the difference between these sides is only going to be the 10 points. So Waikato right back into this one as well. I'll tell you what, the chat is going quick at the moment. I appreciate every single one of you for tuning in for this one. I scored tickets to the lounge at the Bay game as well, says David Davis. So that will be pretty awesome for you in that regard, mate. Because that game is going to be 2:05 if I'm not wrong there tomorrow, which does give you plenty of time to be able to get back. And it's actually going to be Mau making his way out there, and that's going to be the try scorer Pryor going off the field. It looks like some sort of shoulder injury. You really hope it's not serious, but it doesn't look too great for him at the moment, Pryor. Because of that, it does mean he is going to be going off the field, go to the Panthers as well. And there, and also, I swear Ranger got to be like 50 as well. Tell you what, he's working hard to try and work Northland towards 50 points in this game, but he's playing his 100th game today, so he is hoping to be able to get them a win. Well, that was fast as well, and that was beautiful, says Mark Morris as well. It was a very nicely set up try there for Waikato, and once again running it out from their own 22. So they're looking like they are going to be playing aggressive in the second half, almost available there. Is it going to be the penalty? No, he just had the jersey rather than the ball now. Passing it back, Fletcher Smith kicking this one downfield into a bit of space. Going to be bouncing up nicely, taken by Hawkins, who will be firing this one high. Dan Hawkins, he's blocked there, and because of it, they say that they held their lines to Lansdowne now, kicking this one in behind, going straight into the hands, though, of a Rennie Ranger out on the wing once again, doing the step, trying to break the tackle, finds the offload. He just throws it like it's a tennis ball, the way he was holding that one with one hand. Still available here for Northland once again, 40 metres out. Ryan for once again, it's going to be Davies with another carry coming on the field early on because of the injury of Lua Lee. Still available here for Northland. Oh, it's been knocked out of his hand there by Mitch Jacobson, and it is going to be a knock-on advantage against them there. And now it is going to be the scrum feed as well. I just had dinner, corned beef, and also noodles as well, says Johnny Blaze. But at this stage, it looks like Mike Fraser, he's going to be calling over the captains. Not too happy with the amount of back chat that he is hearing at the moment there. My prediction for the ABs versus South Africa game is 27-35 in favour? Is that in favour of South Africa or New Zealand? Zach, do let me know. And also 2 ABs, and yes, is in there as well. And to be fair, I reckon All Blacks will win by around 10 as well, says Hex. And also we have got their, got to get their roll in. Or Northland got their roll on as well, says Mokena. And they've got to make sure that they stop any momentum forming for this Waikato side, because like I mentioned, that stat, 34-8 down they were at halftime up against Wellington to go on to win that game 37 points, or sorry, 43 points to 37, I believe it was, if I'm not wrong. AB's 30, South Africa 27 as well, says Jane. And also 32 to 25-ish. And Yummy Bro says to David there, to be honest, New Zealand were really sloppy last week. They did have a lot of handling errors. And also that kicking game of the Springboks, I feel, will be a little bit more kind of calculated this week. Seemed like they were kicking away very often, but they have gone with pretty much the same lineup, other than a couple changes in their front row. And other than that, Jasper Visa returning from his yellow card a little while ago due to that judiciary hearing taking a little bit longer than expected. Our girl is pretty well built for 9 years old, and I encourage rugby or league, but she's not interested. She reckons it's boring, looks dumb. My heart sank as well, says Johnny Blaze. And Hex has said finally as well, but now it's going to be Northland going short side once again. Draw on pass here out into the hands over there. Try score earlier on, just bumping off everyone. This man's got insane power there. It would have been Johnny Makalai Tori now. Got you. Rolls it back. Once again, it's an advantage for, I believe it's going to be a high shot against Waikato. Passing it back. Hawkins once again. Big hit there on Jordan Olsen, but still available for Northland. Short side once again. Good you. Linking up on the outside. Good attacking run here from Ohio. He's making it. He scored the try there for Northland. And it's another try there. And it is going to be the try to Northland. 29-0. Or sorry, not 29-0. 29-14 now in this game as well. And we will add that one to the try scorers list. So that is going to be the bonus point. Blake has been able to score there. Blake higher. And now we will add that one to the try scorer sheet once again. So the round of maybe the upsets hasn't finished yet, because this is looking like a very strong start to the second half for Northland, other than that early try that we did see from Waikato. But it shows how easily they can get themselves through. But now seems like the Northland side are not finished with scoring their tries either. We will add that one to the try scorers list. Blake higher the try scorer as well, says McKenna. He was indeed. Is that 6 tries already? It is indeed. We are going at a frantic rate at this stage. And also I bet that Bodie or Geordie Barrett might pull something to the game as well, says Zach Slays. And also easy with Benny. Plenty of calories to keep the troops running smoothly as well, says Young Blaze. And also very ambitious score, says Hex. And I assume that is for that one a little bit earlier on. And also please wear Northland on the table, says David Dale Walshaw once again. But they are actually sitting, this would be their first win if they can get themselves the win here. They are currently sitting with a points differential of 112 in the minus, unfortunately for them, only receiving that one bonus point so far for a little bit of a closer game that they had. I believe it was in maybe round 1 or 2 that they were able to get that one. But nonetheless, at this stage, they're looking good in this game so far, and they will be open to extend this lead with this kick from Dawkins, or sorry, it's Hawkins, and he has been able to get that one over. So now the score is going to be 31 for Northland and 14 for Waikato. Only 8 minutes gone in the second half, though, so we have still got 32 minutes left to see some more tries, and by the looks of it, we're going to get plenty of them in the second half. But that is where Northland are sitting at the moment. Waikato, they are sitting top of the premiership, so this would be an upset and a half if Northland were going to be able to win this game. It's going to be taken nicely by Reihana, just outside of their 22, but straight away Waikato trying to get straight back in that breakdown. They need to win themselves a penalty and get themselves a try very soon if they want a chance. Sam Nocto looking like he is going to be firing this ball high. Let's go All Blacks, says New Zealand All Blacks. And also, well, kickman Northland centres having a bit of room to move as well, says Mokena. Oh, it's a tackle on Matthew Lansdowne just when he was landing, though. So it is going to be a legal tackle in that regard. But now passing it back, Mitch Jacobson now. Aidan Johnson with a bit of a spin up to the halfway line now. And it is still going to be available for the Waikato side. They pretty much can't afford to kick this ball back to the hands of Northland, because we've seen Northland so far. They are putting phase after phase together. That's a loose ball. And now Lansdowne once again going through his hands there. Just can't hold on to the ball to save himself, and it's a penalty to Northland now. And it was for accidental offside there. High shot, worthy of the yellow card as well, says Gregory. I don't believe they did decide to have another look at it in the end for that one. But in the end, Northland were able to score off the advantage, I believe, if I'm not wrong there. Unless I got my timing just a little bit muddled up. But whoever's got there, are they Georgian side any goodish? I think is the comment from Hex there. That stumped me for a little while there. But they're not too bad. They play a good physical game in the 4-pack in that regard. And also we have got their soccer mothers are pretty tidy though. Yoga pants are also a highlight of going to the soccer games. And also we have got, hey everyone, who's all pumped for ABs versus South Africa tomorrow night? Tell you what, it's going to be an awesome game, that one between the two sides. Last week, only 2 points difference. Lansdowne, he did set up that last try for Waikato, but maybe it is almost time for Tupaia Cook-Savage to make his way out onto the field here for Waikato, as they are under a huge amount of pressure. Didn't South Africa beat them 40-3 as well? Says it was Hex. I believe it was a little bit closer. I believe Georgia got 9 points in the end, but for the first kind of 20 or 30 minutes of that game, like, I mean, we're comparing the side who are rated 13th in the world, I believe it is, to the number 1 side in the world at the time. So I feel like there's always going to be a difference in that regard. The All Blacks, who were rated 2nd in the world at that stage, were actually, they only bet the Tongan side in 15th by 102 points to 0. So that kind of tells you that ratio side of it, of the fact that Georgia, they didn't do too badly in their first game in a little while. Great commentary, mate, as well. Says it is in New Zealand All Blacks. Thank you very much, mate. And take him off, man, says Christopher. And also 101st test. Let's go, Tesla, says Johnny Blaze. And also we have got the, bro, these kids are different now, bro. I know how you feel, my bro. Tell you what, my voice is already trying to disappear at this stage, which is not ideal. ABs versus USA. In a few weeks, it is indeed going to be played in Maryland. And then from there, the week after, New Zealand going to be taking on Wales in a game as well, which is going to be pretty awesome. And I believe that is going to be the week of the Cricket World Cup kind of getting underway, with the bigger sides playing, such as the Black Caps and everyone like that. France will beat them as well, and the Welsh will scare them as well, says Hex. And also we have got there in the chat, is that South Africa that they will be beating, or Georgia? Do let me know, Hex, because I know that Wales do play South Africa. Also Fiji, Australia, and New Zealand. They have a lot of big games coming up there, and we have what's got there in the early stages. I would really like to see ABs play low-level teams, even if it's kind of a landslide as well, says Hex. So I guess we have got that in regards of them playing up against the USA, which could still be an interesting game, but they're going to make the change of Xavier Rowe now, making his way out onto the field for Waikato. What is he going to be able to do? That's a big question. We see at this stage Sam Kerr also down for a little bit for Northland, but he has had a very good game so far. What do you think will happen if ABs meet England again, says Zach? It's a tough one, because unfortunately it is going to be, once again, probably over a year until we get to see that once again. We don't really get to play England too often. The last time, I believe, was that semi-final with the World Cup, but after that, I assume we get to play them next year, hopefully, in a series. Would be pretty awesome. But yeah, it would be very hard to predict, with the fact that at this stage, they are making quite a few kind of changes, I guess you could say, in their English camp, with the likes of Marcus Smith or someone like that coming through the ranks. Now Waikato got this ball only a couple meters out. Northland have been able to get it in the breakdown, and now it's available, but the loose ball is going to be in the favour now. Rennie Ranger trying to break the tackle. It's a 2-on-1 out onto the wing. It's another try for Northland, and it's going to be, once again, Johnny Makalai-Tori, and he has scored again here. And Northland now, would you say that they have been able, I'm not sure why that man is knocking on his head. I'm not sure what the goal is there, but could it have been another try? On-field decision is try. They are just going to be checking this one. Your mate BK hit me from his channel because I said the Wallabies were pathetic as well. Says NZ All Blacks. Yeah, I don't think, I can't remember the last time I hit someone on my channel, other than I believe it would have been someone either being like extremely racist, or the kind of spamming in terms of like links to dodgy websites. Oh, his foot's in touch. That is going to be a try-saving tackle there for Cortez Ratima, was it? No, it was actually Tupaia Cook-Savage. They've actually put him out on the field, I believe, to replace Matty Lansdowne, and he has just saved a try for Waikato. There we have it's got there. The chat is going very quick at the moment. I appreciate every single one of you for being there. We have it's got there. And yeah, I'm most interested in the Australia versus England game. Really telling regarding Rennie's Wallabies tenure as well, says Mark Morris. That is true. Of course, they are going to be playing at Twickenham as well, which is going to be an awesome matchup. A lot of history between those two sides. So I'm excited for that one. That's actually on the same day as New Zealand playing France as well. So it's going to be very awesome indeed. And we have got there in their FFS Waikato, although it is not the case of it being a try just yet. So they have survived in that regard. Want to see Scotland too? Yeah, that is true. Well, Scotland going to be playing up against the Wallabies. Also, they have got a game up against, I want to say they are playing South Africa, maybe, but I could be wrong in that regard. Abika has a good relationship with me, I think. Did he ban you, Luke? Not too sure, but we also got there. South Africa is a great team, but Khaleesi couldn't motivate them to win. The Springboks are unbeatable on paper, says David and go Northland. Steve Cooper going off the back there. Liam Messam going to be taking this one only 10 meters out now from their own line, trying to get straight in there was Jordan Olsen. But now Xavier Rowe kicking this one high, going to be chased hard by Cobes. Fabling going to be taken nicely, but it's going to be the penalty to Waikato, and I believe that was for the shepherding run that was run there. So now Waikato going to be able to drive their way up the field a little bit more. They were $7. They were indeed, I believe, they were huge underdogs in this match, Northland, as they haven't been able to win a game yet. And also Waikato, they have only lost their one match to Canterbury. Other than that, though, they are heavily the favourites, or they were heavily the favourites at the stage. What are Waikato sitting at the moment in terms of those odds? Do let me know if they have got them there. And also, I feel like I should rather say this in an international game, but yeah, as well, says Hex, no worries, mate. We always talk all about international rugby, all the leagues around the world on all these live streams, which is why I absolutely love them as well. Going to the front there, it's going to be McWinnell taking that one nicely. Xavier Rowe now passing it across. Fletcher Smith, not the best pass, but now it's an offload. Jacobson, man on the outside, and now Coombs Fabling. He scored the try. Whatever the odds were, they are going to change now because Coombs Fabling has been able to score his second try of the match. Now the first man to bring up the second of this game. It's a counter-attack from Waikato once again, and that was just a mistake from Northland. Unfortunately, he does now take over for the most tries in this competition. Liam Coombs Fabling has been able to score it in the 52nd minute, and the comeback could well and truly be on for Waikato once again. And we have got there, here we go as well, says McKinnon also, yeah, but remember what happened to Ireland as well, says Hex, and plus they're looking good, says Hex, and also we have got there, one is going to be, I assume that is all the English names there, if I'm not wrong there, Johnny Blaze. And Waikato score as well, says Zach. They did indeed, and it was Coombs Fabling who was able to score it. Just a counter-attack, but like I mentioned, was the man getting blocked, unfortunately, up against the penalty for Northland, and because of it, it did mean that they were able to kick for the touchline, and then from there, just from halfway, able to attack go Northland as well, says Cooper. And also we have got there, I'm surprised that Northland is actually winning, says Caleb. And also we have got there, BK will hide anyone if he doesn't agree with them as well, says NZ All Blacks there. And also we have got the Hi Kiwi Lab, what's your final prediction for tomorrow's last rugby championship match between All Blacks and South Africa tomorrow late night, says Ryan. I'm going to be sticking with the score that I said for the first match. And the reason for that is I feel like it's a decent score in some regards, and I feel like it will be a score of some game around the world at some stage, so might as well stick with it. So I am saying 29 to the All Blacks, 24 to the Springboks in that game. But yeah, it could definitely be a different score in that regard. And mean Waikato mean as well, says Christopher. And now at this stage, this actually says 58 minutes, but we are only 54 through. So there is still plenty of time left for both of these sides to be able to score a few more times. Waikato at this stage, if they get one more try, they get the bonus point. So they will be leaving this game with at least 1 point on the table, but they will be wanting the full 4 or 5 available. McWinnell is going to be taken off the field, and that's going to be James Thompson now, making his way out there as well. And also we have got there Mexico could beat the All Blacks as well, says Hex. I assume we're talking football then. If we are, or if we're talking rugby, then that would be very impressive. But then the Mexican Sevens side, they were actually at the Sevens competition taking place in Canada recently. So who knows, maybe one day they will be able to build themselves up. And now Mosisi Dawai chasing that one, but it has gone into touch now. 30 metres out now, and it will be Northland with the line-out throw. Can the ABs get the Southern Hemisphere Grand Slam and Northern Hemisphere clean sweep as well, says Johnny Blaze. I believe, if I'm not wrong, the last time we saw the clean sweep was 2017 for the All Blacks. But then saying that, if they were able to win all their games in the Northern Hemisphere as well, USA, Italy, Ireland, also they are going to be playing France and Wales. Those are some interesting matchups that we are going to get to see, and they're all going to be taking place in only a few weeks' time as well, which is very exciting indeed. Mexico will stomp ABs in a rugby, yes, as well, says Hex. I feel like I'm not really giving you the reaction you probably want in that regard, so I do apologise in advance there. About 25 minutes to go. Can Northland hold out? It's going to be tough, but if they can score now, they will have a very good opportunity. But 35 metres out now, and Northland once again going to be having the opportunity for the backline movement. Sam Kerr trying to pierce the line, drag down there. And a good tackle from Sam Cooper. Actually got to start this match. It's a penalty for Waikato. Xavier Rowe thinking about taking it quickly, decides against it. In the end, come on, Waikato bonus point as well. And I watched the Kenya rugby team versus, I think it was Nigeria. And God, they have some big forwards as well. C6, they've just got a big team in general, and they're all pacey as well, which does just mean, they made it through to the final up against South Africa in the Toronto Sevens, I believe it was, if I'm not wrong. Didn't quite make it through in the second one. I think they finished fourth with, I believe it was actually Great Britain who were able to just sneak them in that one, or maybe not. Maybe it was Great Britain versus South Africa in the final, and South Africa won back-to-back ones as well. What's your score prediction for tomorrow's last Rugby Championship game matches between Australia and Argentina? I have said for that one, I'm a little bit more undecided. That's going to be a loose ball, but Gideon Rappling, no, it was actually that man, Tapaya Cook-Savage, who has got that one there. I'm going to say Australia by 15, but I'm not sure of an exact number in that regard. But now it's going to be, once again, going back across here, Thompson on the halfway line row. Pass it back, Fletcher Smith now trying to get this go forward, going here once again. And it will be available for it is Hamilton Burr starting in the number 6 jersey. They've been told to leave it once again. Phase after phase opening up here for Waikato. Fletcher Smith, a little bit of a cutout pass, gives it to Gideon Rappling, finds the offload as well. Wrapping around the outside, Mitch Jacobson trying to pierce his way back through the middle, and it's almost going to be held up by, it was their number 8, Xavier Rowe, going for the kick in behind, seeing a little bit of space, and it's going a little bit too far. Oh, he's actually done a hammy though. One of the players for Northland, or a calf or something. This does not look good for him. I'm hoping it is just cramp, but that is not the time that he wanted to have it, but it is going to be from the halfway line, and it will be the scrum feed for Northland. Here we have what's got there. You need to shave again, kid, as well, says George. I can't shave pretty much every single day. Like, I only shaved it a couple days ago, or a couple weeks ago, I guess you'd say. But it was pretty much in that situation of Australia beating the Springboks. You need to blame them because of the fact that that was what actually made it happen. But yeah, it has already grown back. That is for sure. And also we have got there, did the Waikato girls win? Says Christopher. I'm not too sure. I will actually have a look at the Farah Cup standings at the moment, but it is going to be now Misa coming out on the field for Cooper, and also Leilua going off the field, and that is going to be for Tamati Tua. We'll be getting an opportunity. Waikato actually have a man off the bench as well, who is going to be on debut. What a game. They have to make your way out there as well, get behind the Pumas, and hopefully they cause an upset against these Cocky Wallabies as well. It says NZ All Blacks, although unfortunately for me, in that regard, I wore a tie that was blue, and I said that I was wearing it for Argentina, and that was the only game that they have scored 0 points in, so I will certainly be keeping that one away. In that regard, and we have what's got there, or blew out a muscle as well, says McKenna, and also we have got there in the chat, go the mighty Waikato, right, Kiwi lad as well, says Ryan Sims. I actually have a Waikato kid in the background there, also the Chiefs, but I haven't had it in the background for a live stream before, so if they lose this game, could be the unlucky charm, but out is going to be, it will be Ravez Raihana running beautifully as well. Sam Knock linking up now, Liam Messam trying to stop McNamara, driving up to the 22, and now Northland once again going to be sitting in a good position. Passing it back once again. Oh, it's a backline movement that just hasn't quite been able to find that momentum going forward. But now it will be straight away Tua who gets an opportunity with the ball in hand. Currently only 35 metres out. Once again, dropping the head there. Jordan Olsen, the captain, trying to make his way forward. We also got there, go Northland as well, says McKenna. Also too much muscle, not even speed work. Jake the Muss, New Zealand Kiwi icon as well. Says Johnny Blaze now once again. Oh, it's big contact between McNamara and also it was Liam Messam almost available there after 6 phases. Now Northland putting it together. Good carry there from, it was Fa'uaka, I believe it is, or Fa'ukafa, sorry, is the pronunciation there. Driven back within the tackle, but Northland once again, phase after phase, is opening up. Manawatu Cyclones should be at the top of the championship of the Farah Cup as well. As it said in the chat, oh, it's going to be a huge hit, just ragdolled there. In the end, to play a Cook Savage. The ball is still available in Dawai. It's a counter ruck. And it does mean now that Northland get themselves a penalty. If they were to kick this one over, they would have a 13-point lead. But I believe they will be going for the corner once again here. Body's going in at the moment as well. Says it McKenna, and also Cora Messam, says Johnny Blaze. And also, what do you think about the backs for the ABs in South Africa? I believe at this stage, they haven't actually changed, or they are going for the shot here, but they haven't actually changed the kind of back line at all for the Springboks, whereas the All Blacks, they have gone with a new midfield combo of Havili and Anton Leonard-Brown, and then also 2 new wings in that regard as well, with a new Brad Weber at number 9. So it's a tough one. I feel like it could be, I want to see the kicking game of South Africa. I feel like they will still do some of those kicks, but I want to see it slightly decreased and that they can have a few more runs as well. Link for the match. Unfortunately, it is only available through kind of Sky or Stan Sport subscriptions for these ones, unfortunately, but the highlights will be on the All Blacks YouTube channel after the match is finished as well. How much money do these Bunnings rugby players get? I assume they would get, I don't want to say a number just in case I'm well and truly off, but I assume it would be like a full-time kind of salary for a lot of them. But then also there are a few players who do kind of part-time, a little bit of both kind of thing. But it wouldn't be as much as a Super Rugby contract, but it would still be a professional rugby contract that's actually missed there. For Northland with 20 minutes to go, they have still got that 10-point lead. I would like to say, I would say this is like 99 strength ABs last week was 96 out of 100 as well, says Hex, and also go the mighty ABs as well, says Christopher, and $50, says Hex. I'm sure they get a little bit more than that, probably $50 an hour if you kind of work it out in that regard of all the hours that they do training and everything. But I assume they would be getting a decent-ish wage, probably still not enough though. In that regard, it was actually looking through a Waikato playing Wellington, I believe, was the game that we were talking about for the Farah Cup. That is going to be tomorrow at 12:05 p.m. But Waikato at this stage sitting second on the premiership table, and Manawatu Cyclones sitting in first on the 25 now. It's available. Fletcher Smith offloads it back to Jacobson. I see George Dyer off the field. That is for Rob Cobb. And they have now got this ball available once again. Sullivan passes it back, available for Waikato to get some quick ball. Almost grabbed in the breakdown by Rennie Ranger. It's an advantage against them now. Xavier Rowe sees the space. Short side, Fletcher Smith drawing pass. Mitch Jacobson gets it, and now Dawai going to be isolated a little bit here. Still available. And it is going to be the penalty we have. It's got there 30K to 55K. I feel like that is a decent enough shout there. And slippery hands, 110 out of 100. And Richie McGoat for Ireland coach as well, says Hex there. And the jabber, Rennie Ranger. Unfortunately, one of the first things that he has done wrong in this match was that breakdown. He just wasn't quite able to get out of there early enough, which did mean they did give away the penalty, and now they will be kicking this one for the corner. It is his 100th match. Like I have mentioned a few times so far, we are 61 minutes through this one. And at this stage, 18 or so minutes to go. Rugby players don't get enough money under appreciated job as well, says George Polo. That is true. Like the way that they throw their bodies around out there, like the top players do get quite a bit of a salary, but that is why I guess Australia is a perfect example of why so many players end up going NRL kind of thing rather than Super Rugby, because the kind of difference in terms of their salary and whatnot. But then also it is just not as popular for rugby union in Australia as the NRL for like bringing up those new talented players in the ranks. But now it's going to be taken nicely by James Thompson, rolling more here for the Waikato. Only going to be 5 meters out. The ball has gone down, couple meters short. Now offloading it back. It's going to be Rob Cobb playing halfback. We haven't seen that too many times. Northland almost able to get the penalty, and they do, and it was Josh Goodhue. And that was a crucial one there for the Northland side, because only a few meters out from the line, 18 to go as well, says Cooper. And also rugby's amateur era means it gets a lot of financial catch-up to do, or it's still got a lot of financial catch-up. I'm not sure why I struggled so much to read that while we haven't got there. It's only been recent that the biggest rugby contracts have been larger than the biggest league contracts as well, says Mark Morrison. Also, we have got there in the chat as well, the ABs can afford to change players. That's also confidence as well. Are you doing the Otago game, says Shane? I believe it is the second game tomorrow, if I'm not wrong. I think it is Manawatu versus Otago. I'm still a little bit undecided on those matches tomorrow, because we are going to be doing the matches of the Rugby Championship that will be starting at 8:05 and also the game at 11:05, but we will be doing a little bit of build-up for that kind of two matches as well. And then we've got those United Rugby Championship games in the middle of the night, I should say. So it just depends on what time I end up waking up in terms of kind of, seeing whether or not we have got the time and also the vocal cords to be able to get through all those games. I really like to, though, and I think something that I am going to be doing in the future weeks is a lot more of these Bunnings NPC games each round, because now that the Rugby Championship, this is the final week, we are going to have a few more kind of open slots in the weekends as well. Because last weekend, I think we live streamed for a total of about, I want to say about 7 streams in 24 hours or something along those lines. But now it's going to be taken nicely by Cook Savage once again. It's going to get nailed in the tackle. They are ragdolling him a little bit, but now short side. And then it's a Dawai, and it's going to be drawing pass. Can he get it right here? No, decides not to pass it, Dawai. And that has well and truly stumped the Waikato players, because now Northland almost able to counter ruck. It's going to be Xavier Rowe, goes back to Smith once again. They've got the men on the outside. It's a loose pass now. Going to be held here by Balin Sullivan, the knock on. Or it did go backwards, I should say. So it is still available for them once again here. Waikato just inside of the half of Northland. 15 minutes left in this game now. It's going to be Fletcher Smith. Jacobson, short ball there. But good tackle from Sam Keard in the end. Still available for Xavier Rowe. Liam Messam takes it nicely. Tries to break the line. Going to be tackled hard by Hohaya. He's been able to drag him down. Fletcher Smith now offloading it. Going to be Misa getting one of his first carries of this match so far. The big man. And at the number 16 jersey, Liam Messam passes back. Smith now offloading it now into the hands of Hamilton Burr, I should say. It's going to be a good low tackle there from Rennie Ranger. No, I think it was a no arms one, unfortunately. Offside advantage. I think it's going to be the call, actually. Yeah, it was offside. And there are far too many uncompetitive games in rugby as well, says George, and also rugby needs to expand to other countries or else it's going to lose quality and competition, therefore fans as well, says that George there. And also we have got there, whoever taps into the USA market will be drowned in dollars, Northern Hemisphere or Southern Hemisphere, whoever cracks that nut first as well, because I know that they have got the MLR at the moment that is going very nicely for them at the stage, and I guess it will just keep on growing. Ollie Norris, I should say. Interesting challenge there on Josh Goodhue in the end, but now they are making the subs. It is going to be that number 18, whose name I am going to try and pronounce once and really hope that he doesn't score himself a try, but the name is Kaliopasi Ulela Kepa. I believe it is, or something along those lines. It is a tough name that doesn't want to roll off the tongue. Go the Taranaki as well, says Christopher. And also we have got their dream score would be 35-19 scores against top teams rather than 65-5 as well, says Hex. And also I'd love to see the top teams not be Ocean, South Africa, Europe, and therefore, and for Canada and USA to prove a bit of a threat, because I know that they have both got Rugby World Cup qualifying games this weekend. Will be USA taking on Uruguay in a 2-match series, and also Canada taking on Chile. And whoever loses those 2-match series between USA and Uruguay will play the winner of the 2-match series between Canada and Chile. And then that's who qualifies as America's 2. So it's a little bit of I guess you could say, a long-winded process for the kind of America's side of it, but they have played a lot of games as well. Waikato, you suck as well, says Christopher. They aren't out of this game yet. 16 minutes left into this stage, 14 minutes left. They are only 10 points behind. It could be a very close one. Hello to everybody who came in lately. I hope you're enjoying this banger of a game as well, says Sebastian. And tell you what, the games seem to be getting closer and closer in some regards for the Bunnings NPC. We did see it. I mean, 2 weeks in a row we've had a game go to golden point. Are we going to have it in this one as well, perhaps? Because if Waikato get a 3-pointer, that would mean now that we would be sitting on, 31-31 if they did score that try as well. But anyone who is keen on a bit of gaming as well, I should mention, while I am getting up this other stat that I am looking for in terms of the poll, we have got at this stage 10% of votes has said let's go to golden point. 43% saying Waikato will win it, and 40% have said that it will be Northland. So that is a lot closer than I think a lot of people would have been expecting in terms of that one. But now it is going to be going back into the hands of Mesa for this rolling ball once again, trying to get it going. And it is the man on debut there, Tamani, who was straight in the action for Waikato. They've been told to use it once it's still available at the back, not really going forward. So they're going to have to do something with it very soon, or else could end up being the scrum. I think they've got to use it now, Waikato. That's really not going anywhere. Xavier Rowe now passes it back, and it's going to be Gideon Rappling. Rush defense there from Rennie Ranger, and he has been able to almost get their hands on the ball. It's another advantage for Waikato. Ollie Norris not able to find the offload though, and now Xavier Rowe once again. Pearson round the gap. It's going to be Sam Knock dragging him down, and it has gone to ground now. Right, what do you do if you're Waikato? Do you kick the easy 3, or do you go for the corner? I think maybe they will decide to go for the corner here. We have Oscar, he should be the coach of the Mexican rugby team with that Didi Sanchez as well, says George. I mean, if they offered me a contract, I'll probably consider it, of course, even though I know nothing about coaching, so they'll probably sack me within a few moments, but, you know, it would be worth a bit of a crack, I guess. Uruguay beat Fiji, yes, as well, says Johnny Blaze. They did indeed in the, I was going to say the semi-final, but in group stages of the last World Cup, I believe, and Russia has the potential to be a great rugby country. They do indeed. They've got some big forwards, and we see as well that they just seem to have that kind of physical rugby like we see the Russians. They are very physical in terms of the likes of the USC. I know it's a little bit different in terms of fighting compared to the rugby, but if you've got that physicality, you're straight away helping yourself out in terms of being able to succeed as well. And we have also got there, it is Kali Opasi Uli A La Kipu, or Kippa. Sorry, try that as well, says David. Hopefully, I am fingers crossed that he doesn't score a try, because of the fact that I feel like I won't be able to pronounce it there to save myself. Link for France. I believe your best bet would be the All Blacks YouTube channel after the game. Normally about, I want to say, an hour after the games, they normally upload them onto their YouTube channel for the highlights, that is. I don't believe they have kind of full match available in France for this competition, which is a shame, because we have got some very good rugby being played in a lot of these ones. Stephen Messer just not quite able to hear the call. Oh, well taken there by, it was Hamilton Burgess with the one hand, and once again it is rolling forward here, and the rolling maul for the Waikato. Messer's got it at the back, trying to go straight through the middle here, as the Northland player almost been able to shut it down. Messer breaking off the back of the maul. It's gone down to ground. Sam Knock with a good tackle there, and it's going to be a counter ruck for Northland, and they've been able to steal it as well. Very nicely done there. And now, because of a Northland, they are going to be passing it back once again. You're looking like they're going to run it out. No, Rennie Ranger does the draw and pass. It's a big hit there, and it's gone into touch there, which does now mean that it will be Waikato, who will have the opportunity to throw it. Quickly decides against it, and now it's going to be the line out. But Rennie Ranger, instead of deciding to kick that ball when he had the open space, he decided to try and run it out, and now does mean that the pressure is still going to be on Northland here. I should bring China and India to play rugby. Imagine big the sport will be as well, says George Bolo there. And also we have got, would love to see the South and North American teams to at least beat Australia before I die as well, says Hexon. Who knows, maybe Rugby World Cup one day we will get to see it. Of course, we always seem to end up in that situation of USA. I'm sorry, actually, No, it will be Uruguay, I believe, who will be able to qualify there, depending on where it finishes. That's a big tip tackle there from Liam Messam there. No, it wasn't Liam Messam. It was one of the other players straight away when I saw the tip tackle. I thought that it was going to be Messam who was penalised, but instead it is one of the replacements here, and it is going to be the penalty. D'Angelo Leula is the man who gave away that penalty there, and that is not what Waikato wanted. They were in that situation. They're going upstairs. We're going to have to wait and see whether or not this is going to be a card. I believe he didn't lift him too far above the horizontal, so it's probably either a yellow or a penalty at this stage, unless, of course, I see the replay and see otherwise there. And we have got their drop goal as well, says Christopher. And also, Hamish, I reckon undeveloped teams need to learn how to play ball rush, bro, as well, says McKenna. I guess that is a decent shot, a decent shout, I should say, as well. Ball rush, of course, one of the staples, I guess you could say, in school. Oh, okay, clear lift and turn there. But I don't believe he did end up going too far. One leg went above the horizontal, then he put him back down. So I think this is just going to be a yellow, if I'm not wrong there. And we also got there, should go for gold and kick it out as well, says McKenna. And also we have got the right now, it seems like the amount of tier 2 sides that can get a convincing upset will increase rather than having solid sides that become tier 1. And that is going to be the yellow card for D'Angelo Leula. Now that's going to be huge for Waikato because they are 10 points behind and they will have the next 10 minutes now with only 14 men out on the field. And that will mean 25 seconds left of this game. They will be back to the 15. Waikato may have just thrown that game away in terms of giving away that penalty. We have got plus countries like India have lots of population, but heavy amounts of poverty as well, says Hex. And also we have got their ball rush touch held. All the casual Kiwi lads, Kiwi games, Kiwi kids develop their skill set, come adult years. It's second nature to love the flair and X Factor stuff in rugby as well. But yeah, D'Angelo Leula, unfortunately, just ended up lifting and up, turning and lifting, as they have said. And now it does mean that Northland, if they are to win this game, they have got a chance of being able to extend that lead from just the 10 points, maybe try and cut down that points differential. If they score an extra, I believe it's another 4 points, they will have a points differential of less than 100 for the minus section. So that I'm sure they will be working towards that as well. We have got their team sports are not inductive or induct. And I feel like I've said that word wrong as well, to the way the Chinese sports system works, which is more designed to generate Olympic medals as well. And I'm out now. Thank you as well, says Christopher. Yeah, unfortunately, it does seem like this game may not go the way of Waikato. And now going back once again, driving their way forward here. Northland only going to be about 45 metres out. Rennie Ranger now looking for the draw and pass, trying to bump off the tackle of Fletcher Smith, trying to get that go forward going. Oh, it's almost a penalty against James Thompson, but still available now. It's going to be Goodhue trying to drive his way forward. Waikato will need to get this ball back if they want any chance of it being able to win this match. But phase after phase here for Northland once again. Stephen Messer straight on the ball, but wasn't able to get it. Sam Knock now, quick hands here. Linking up now. It's Tua with the offload. It's gone into touch though. And now do they decide to take this one quickly? Sullivan thinks about it, but instead decides against it. Once again, sells it as if he was going to. But now it is going to be going back for the line out here for Waikato. State-sponsored PEDs systems are put in place as well. Says it was Jody Blaze. And also we have got there speaking better English might help as well. Says David, and also Chinese are mad. They would build a university for rugby if they played as well, says Mokina. I mean, a rugby university, I know that they're trying to develop that in Fiji at the moment, try and get a few more academies going over in the islands, and that will really help out with the Fijian Drua and also Moana Pacifica being able to build their game. Tell you what, this is an incredible run there from Gideon Rappling. He's just gone about 30 metres in almost a little bit of a drive. Fletcher Smith now sells the dummy. He's through the gap as well. Fletcher Smith tries to draw and pass. It's worked out as well, and it's going to be Tupai Cook Savage. Dragged down only a few metres out from the line. He wasn't out. So now around the side, it is going to be that number 20 on debut there. Tamani going short side. Fletcher Smith draw and pass. Thompson close to the touchline. It's still available for them though. It's bouncing out the side. Very close to the touchline there for Xavier Rowe. A game of inches there of whether or not he was in touch. But now Xavier Rowe once again passing it back. Fletcher Smith cross kick. Opening up. It's wide open. It's found the man out on the wing as well. He stepped on the inside. Combs Fabling. He's got himself the hat trick. Unless I feel like they might consider going back and having a quick look whether or not we do still have Christopher here. If you are here, Christopher, they have been able to score themselves a try, or have they? We'll have to wait and see whether or not Xavier Rowe is in touch. But that's the thing. Going into this game, Lester Whainanuku sitting on 4 tries, looked like he was going to be the leading try scorer for a while, but then now Coombs Fabling scoring 3 tries in this game. And now because of it, he is well and truly the leading try scorer. They are just going to be checking this one, I would assume, just to make sure that it is still in the field of play, but it is going to be the try for Waikato there. I don't think they've gone back to check it, so he must have been fine there. Xavier Rowe kicked across field from Fletcher Smith. We've seen a couple cross kicks from him out to that man, Coombs Fabling, and he has just scored the try. We all add that one to the try scorers list. This game is not over yet. Ladies and gentlemen, the score now going to be 26 for Waikato, 31 for Northland as well. I can't believe people watch soccer over rugby. Come on, seriously as well. Says that Johnny Blaze, and also we've got there. And unfortunately, in most European and South American rugby's got no chance against football. All the financing is focused on us. Leaving rugby with a slim chance to properly develop as well, says Sebastian. And this game, man, says McKenna, it seems like, tell you what, if the games that we are going to have tomorrow are anything like this one, we are going to be in for a treat. But at this stage, Fletcher Smith now to make it only a 3-point game here. Struck it well. Struck it straight, and it is going to be now 28 points to Waikato. And it will be 31 to Northland now. This clock says 77. We are only 74 minutes through this game, which does mean we've still got a little bit more time to see whether or not Northland can get themselves a try coming up, or if Waikato can get that comeback. Tell you what, second time of the Bunnings NPC, if they can do it, that would be absolutely incredible, because they came back from being 30. Oh, sorry, not 30. They were actually 26 points down in that game up against Wellington, and now they're trying to do the same here as well. And we have got their Waikato have been getting, from getting out of jail as well, says that JSB, and also drop goal, says Hex, but now it's going to be Liam Messam trying to break the line on the short side, dragged down by Rennie Ranger just outside of the 22, but the last thing they want here, Waikato, is to give the ball away. Rennie Ranger once again complaining to the referee. I think I've seen that about the last 5 times that he has gone to ground, but there is that situation. Momentum is shifting in this game, and I have a feeling that the 100-cap veteran now can feel that just a little bit more. Coombs Fabling trying to go up in the air. It's taken nicely by Raihana. Run into by Stephen Mesa, though, who has now dragged him down to the ground. And that is a big man to have holding you down in the breakdown, that is for sure. Now Josh Goodhue once again going down to ground. If Northland can score right now, this could be the win for them, and they have got men on the outside instead. Takes the contact there. I believe it would have been Funaki. Now it's roaring past Rennie Ranger, quick hands. And now it's going to be now driven backwards in that tackle. I'm going to have to make sure I get the name right. Roberts. It is Tinana who did have the carry there, but 40 meters out now for Northland once again. Big bit of contact and ripped to the ground there. And once again, Northland just putting the phases together. I swear that they have been able to get over 8 phases. I want to say around 6 times around the side now. Rennie Ranger pierces the gap. He's trying to find the offload. Gives it to Sam Knock. Wide pass. It's going to be bouncing up, and now still available for them. Inside ball. Rayana offloads to Olsen. Jordan Olsen. Meter shorter line. It's a knock on. Is it on the ground, or is it a try? It's a knock on for Northland. Inches from the line and inches from the win there for Northland. They were right there. Rennie Ranger in the middle of it, trying to get it going, but then just that little knock on as well. There we have it. There. Sorry, I got to go. I'll see you tomorrow as well. Says Slays, no worries, mate. And also Sam McNichol still playing rugby as well. Says Hex, that's a good question. Because of the fact they have got plenty of Sams at the moment for Northland. I guess I could say you've got Sam McNamara, also Sam Knock, and then Sam Kidd also out there in the locks as well. And also, we have got their dictatorship leaders from the CCP laughing at the Western world right now. The wokeness is crippling us as well, says Johnny Blaze. And also, we have got their, well, at least you didn't mention Russia because they're cheats as well, says David. And also, fencing colleges, bruh, a 6-year master's degree in fence construction as well. Here, well, that's very impressive in that regard as well. We have got their that runs the clock down as well, says JSB. And well, says Advise as well. And also, the loser of this contest deserves to walk away with the 2 bonus points. I agree, mate, because at the end of the day, Northland, they have been right in this contest this whole game. They were able to start it extremely well. Going into halftime, 24 points to 7. Then from there, it has been that comeback of Waikato, like I mentioned, in that game up against Wellington as well. They were able to just keep on fighting, and they were able to get that win. Is this going to be the second massive comeback for them in this competition? We will have to wait and see, but we have currently got 3 minutes and 10 seconds left. 5-meter scrum here, and Waikato will be the side who will be putting the ball in. So it's going to be a very exciting finish. What happened, Waikato? Here, well, it's an interesting one, because what happened, Waikato? They have actually, that's the thing, they've had the better second half, believe it or not. Yeah, 24-7 down at halftime. They just didn't get it right early on. A lot of handling errors for Lansdowne, unfortunately, in their number 15 jersey. But then he did end up setting up the try for Mitch Jacobson. So from there, they took off him and had to pay a Cook Savage go out there, and he has been looking strong, other than the fact that everyone else is a little bit bigger than them. So he has been getting whacked around, but Powerade is being drunk or I think it's being drunk by Rennie Ranger. I think he just choked on it because of the fact he's just been spraying it in the beard. But now, only 3 minutes 10 left in this game. Waikato still only have 14 men out on the field as well. All Blacks play American football as well, says Hex. And also, this is better than the AB's game, says Mokena. Tell you what, if it's as close as this at 77 minutes, it will be a very nerve-wracking finish to that game as well. That is for sure. Don't mind me, Sebastian. I simply don't really get into other sports now, just rugby. I'm a boring person as well, says Johnny. At this stage now, it is going to be Xavier Rowe who will be firing the ball into the scrum. It's an important one for Waikato. They have got the man disadvantage in the back line, but they have still got their fullback, Liam Messam. He's looking a little bit tired there, but he will be trying to rally the troops to get them the big comeback win, like we have already mentioned. 2 points will be on the cards for either of these sides. Unless someone scores, then all of a sudden it will be taken straight off there with the points differential. And also we have got their house of game being. It's been an interesting one. Waikato had a very interesting start. They were able to score their first try of the match in the 8th minute, but then from there, that's a big push from Northland. It's almost available. It's going straight sideways, and Coombs Fabling now down the short side, kicks it in behind, trying to chase this one, and it is going to be sitting up now once again. For it will be Tanana, who's got this ball on the halfway line, dragging it down there. Balin Sullivan counter a ruck here from Waikato, trying to get in there, but now Northland once again, 2.5 minutes left, but it's been very back and forth between these two sides, that is for sure. In these later stages. Now it's going to be the white ball. It's knocked on once again there. And it is going to be another scrum, which won't matter to Northland too much because of the fact it used up a little bit more time. But it was almost an awesome opportunity for, I believe it was Roberts Tinana, did end up putting that ball down. It's a reversal of the knock-on. So now it is going to be 2 minutes left and Northland will have the scrum feed now. It's got their grandfather, Koro Liam Messam as well. Says Johnny plays an entire 100-meter field as well, says Hex. And got a long way to score a try. And definitely now that they haven't got the possession as well here, we have got their come on Waikato. I want to see a penalty or drop goal and a golden point showdown as well. They are just checking this one. Oh, did he touch this ball? I think he just got that little touch on it. Coombs Fabling, which is why they have decided that it is going to be the scrum, the favour of Northland as well. Just finished work, but look forward to join your broadcast for the ABs versus South Africa as well. Yeah, it's going to be an exciting game. 11:05 p.m. kickoff here in New Zealand, which does mean it is going to be around that kind of, I think it's a 12:05 p.m. kickoff in South Africa, and also in Australia it is going to be around that 8 p.m. If I'm not wrong, them and now is going to be driving for once again. Jordan Olsen, 1.5 minutes left in this game, in Northland in position once again, trying to drive their way forward. It is going to be once again available on the short side for Rennie Ranger. He has made a lot of tackles throughout this match, but now almost stolen in the breakdown. Waikato trying to get straight in there. They're actually a man down at the moment around the side. And it's going to be Sam McNamara. And he scores a try, and that's the game. And Northland are going to win the match. Sam Knock has gone down underneath a couple of his other players. And that is another Sam who has been able to score the try. And they will win this game up against the Premiership leaders at the moment. And it is going to be added onto that try scorers list. There we go. We will add that one there. And it is going to be the try for Sam McNamara. Just round the side, saw the gap. They were covering it on the outside. The man disadvantage does mean that they had a little bit more space there than they would have liked. And it is going to be the try and the win for the Northland side. I almost put the 88th minute, but not quite. We're at the 79th at the moment, but that will be the nail in the coffin for Waikato in this one. They were almost able to fight back, but just not quite enough there. And also we have got, will you be streaming any other games today, Hamish? We have some Premiership and United Rugby Championship action later. I really wanted to do either the game for the Bulls taking on, I'm trying to remember who they play, but it's the Bulls and the Lions who both play this morning, and also the Bristol Bears playing Bath. But unfortunately, due to all of the games that are going to be taking place tomorrow night as well, it does mean that if I was to do those games, I'd probably end up falling asleep after the All Blacks game. So I've kind of maybe got to skip the Saturday morning games here in New Zealand to be able to do the Saturday night and Sunday morning games, if that makes sense. But that one has gone through, and now the score is going to be 38 for Northland and 28 for Waikato. So the big thing here is that is going to take away one of the bonus points for them. We have what's got there in the what are you on about as well? Says Hicks for David as well. Join up the Kiwi Lads friend as well, says David. I assume that is in terms of their membership that we have got for those exclusive member emojis. If you guys want access to them, well done, Northland as well. Says no, mum, yeah, they've done very well, but now all of a sudden the ball is still almost available. We're 80 minutes through this game, and Will Grant will be passing this one back. Rennie Ranger, no, they aren't going to be trying to send it into touch. He's going to keep on going. The ball was stripped. And now is it going to be a mistake here from Rennie Ranger? D'Angelo Laula getting tackled out by Grant, because now this is opening up the opportunity for them to get one more bonus point here. Waikato could be the difference in this competition. Waikato pass, that's a knock on. And that is the end of the game. And it is going to be the win there for Northland. Rennie Ranger in the 100th game for his side. They have been able to win this game by 10 points, 38 points to 28. Looks like the round of upsets from last round is going to be continuing through this one, which does mean it's going to be very interesting to see how we go from here in terms of the next results of this round. I will show who is going to be playing in the games tomorrow. It is going to be Wellington taking on Bay of Plenty and also Manawatu taking on Otago. Then the game on Sunday will be Tasman versus Southland, and that will be preparing them for their Shield, Ranfurly Shield, that is, challenge that they are going to be having the next week up against Hawke's Bay, I believe, if I'm not wrong there. And unless it is a massive win for Northland there, and that will move them straight away with that bonus point win. Waikato, they will be sitting on 17 points with that points differential dropping to plus 25. But then for this side here, Northland, they are going to cut that points differential down a little bit more, sitting on a minus 102. But they are now going to be sitting on 6 points. They bump themselves right up into third place at this stage as it is sitting. And then those games between Manawatu and Otago, and also the game between, there is that game, Southland versus Tasman, will determine where they are going to be sitting at the end of this one as well. First half was too disastrous for Waikato. Couldn't come back from that as well, says Sebastian. And also, we have got to expect women's beach volleyball. Always time for that as well, says Johnny Blaze. And also, we have got there in the chat, see you mate as well, says McKenna. And also, we have got in the chat at the moment, yep, I'll be at the Bay game as well. And Hamish, Women's Beach Volleyball World Cup streams as well. I'm not actually sure when the Women's Beach Volleyball World Cup is in that regard, because I know that they have it at the Olympics, if I'm not wrong. I know that you guys were well and truly talking about it on those ones as well. But yeah, not too sure when that World Cup is. I assume it would be synced up with the normal, I guess it's probably 2 years and then maybe 2 years for the regular court volleyball, I guess you could say it, as well. And Bay of Plenty are so average this year as well, says Real Sheepdog. They have struggled in a couple of their games. They were 3 points away from being able to win that Ranfurly Shield. And then straight away, they would have had to defend it up against Taranaki. So if that game had gone the way that it did in the end, that would have meant that now Taranaki would have the Shield and they are in the championship for this season, but not for very long. I feel like they might be able to promote themselves as well, playing rugby against aliens. Sounds fun as well. C6, it would be an interesting contest, that is for sure. You'd have some interesting calls. Because I guess it's one of those ones you'd have, how do you do it? Do you have 2 referees on the touchline for kind of the earth, and then 2, maybe the TMO and the head referee or something in terms of for the aliens? Like, who is an alien referee that we know of that they would be able to have? Because I assume you've got to have like the mutual ones. Like, you'd have to get someone from a different universe to be able to referee that one as well. Yes, with attire rules stating all closed garments must be 2 sizes too small as well, says Johnny Blaze. There's 56% possession for Northland in this game. 356 metres carried compared to the 200 of Waikato. There 21 defenders beat him for Waikato compared to the 11. And it was Combs Fambling who was able to get himself 3 tries in this one, but he just wasn't quite able to get all the way to the try line enough. Unfortunately, he needed just the one more, and they would have been a lot closer there, Waikato. But then just ending up having that last minute try from Sam McNamara, scoring that one as well, alongside Sam Knock, another man with the name Sam. Also, Blake Haihaya was able to score it. And then they also had the try scorers of, it was Kara Pry, went off with an injury. So hopefully that isn't too serious. And also it was Johnny Makalai Tori as another one, women's beach volleyball. I love that as well, says that David. And also we have got there, that's a hard one. Taranaki have the best record at the moment, but I want Manawatu to go up as well, says JSB, and good stream, says Hex as well. Thank you very much, mate. And like I mentioned, we are going to be back for plenty more live streams tomorrow as well. We have got the game between the All Blacks and the Springboks. That is the second match of the Rugby Championship. The first one being Australia versus Argentina. We will be starting just that little bit earlier as well. In that regard, the council has reached a decision, women's beach volleyball over the cricket as well, said Sebastian there. But then we have also got maybe the United Rugby Championship in the middle of the night. Gallagher Premiership, I believe, is on at the same time, so I might have to decide which game to follow in that regard. And then on Monday, we will once again be having that Gallagher Premiership game, which I believe is going to be between Exeter Chiefs and also someone else, I believe, if I'm not wrong there. And Kanakawainen has been morning, Hamish. Big weekend of rugby ahead. That means 3 days of not leaving your room as well, says Kanakawainen. Yeah, there is plenty of rugby on That is for sure, which is why tonight I feel like I'm going to have to try and get as much sleep as physically possible to try and catch up, because I think we're going to be doing about maybe 5 live streams tomorrow, and then maybe a few more on the day after that as well. It will be pretty tough, but hopefully we will be able to get through it, take some ice, and do IPL as well, says Gregory Bissett. I mean, we have actually been looking at the IPL because I believe they are getting close to the finals. I wanted to do every single game of that competition right when it was about to start, and then they ended up postponing it, which kind of meant that it was well and truly kind of in the swing of the rugby season. It will be tough, but maybe we'll be able to squeeze in a few before we get to the Cricket World Cup as well. And thanks so much. Thanks, Mods, and thanks, Jack, as well, says JSB. And also we have got there, we bought a new family car today, 2016 Subaru Forester manual turbo as well, says Johnny Blaze there. So congratulations on that one, mate, and hype for this epic rugby weekend, says Sebastian to Kanakoin. And yeah, we've got plenty of it. And if it's anything like this for the Bunnings NPC, we might get to see a couple more upsets that will be taking place as well. If you can see my profile picture, I am with Sam Nock as well, says Tyson. And what we can do now, there we go, look at that. There he is, indeed, Sam Nock there in the picture. There you go. And also, yeah, don't bother as well, says Gregory. Yeah, so feel like it's one of those ones. We left it too late for the IPL because of the fact that we did miss those first initial ones as well. But there are plenty of other channels that are covering the IPL as well. And also, if you have got yourself a Sky subscription, I believe they are going to have all of the games of the IPL and also all the games of the Cricket World Cup as well. And also, we have got nice bro as well from David. But nonetheless, I think that is almost going to be at the end of this live stream commentary. It was great today. Looking forward to the weekend as well, says Gregory. And yeah, the amount of rugby that we have got this weekend, luckily, I guess in some regards, we get a couple weeks off after this one, and then we're just into like 5 international games of rugby every single night as well. Fast-paced commentary too as well, says Hex. And also we have got heading to Thormont once again for the Munster versus Stormers. I expect a tight game for about 50 minutes before Munster pull away, playing against our feeder club as well. Says Gunnar going in. And also we have got, hey bro, nice commentary, says my username as well. Thank you very much, mate. Do appreciate you being here. Anyone who hasn't seen it already, Liam Combs Fabling, able to score himself 3 tries in this match. Also Mitch Jacobson scoring the other for Waikato. So they received that bonus point, which does get them just the one bonus point for this match. And then it was Johnny Mikalai-Tori, Kara Pryor, also Sam Nock and Blake Hohaya, who were able to score the earlier tries in this match for Northland, which secured their bonus point. And then that final try for Sam McNamara, who was able to secure the win and take away another bonus point from Waikato as well. Munster versus Stormers, kind of going in. I thought about you. Don't get too excited as well, says that Johnny Blaze there as well. And also can't wait, says Kanako in. But unless, I do thank you all very much for tuning in. Like I mentioned, we have got the Rugby Championship tomorrow night. We will be starting our first live stream at 7:30 New Zealand time, which will work out at, I believe it would be 4:30 Australian time. And then also it will be it's actually quite early. It's going to be a 6:30 start in South Africa or somewhere around there, maybe even a little bit earlier in that regard. It's going to be an early morning start, but hopefully you guys will be keen to watch that one. Or actually, no, I've got the time zones around the wrong way. It will actually be a 7:30 start in South Africa, if I'm not wrong. And nonetheless, thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you all for the next one.